right, welcome into the high noon edition of Pugs and Company. Two streams we do here each and every day. This is the first high noon. This comes to you every Monday through Friday, noon till whenever. More on that. And the second stream that we do is the Pillow Talk. Now, the Pillow Talk has been hit or miss lately. We've been up, we've been down, we've been doing it, we've been not doing it. We will do it fairly consistently from this point forward. However, schedule for that is a little bit... I'll explain later. Tonight, we're doing a Pillow Talk, so come join us back here. Get here 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock Central Standard Time is when we go. Now, why if I get one, if I listen to noon, why do I got to come back at 9? Because they're two completely different shows, two completely different kinds of shows. This show here, this is about topics. This is a current event show. This is about everything that people are talking about. We throw it out there. We chop it up, as they say, and we get you all prepped so you're not walking around feeling like you don't know what the hell's going on in the world. That's what this is. This show, utilitarian in design, supposed to be a cheat sheet for you. The Pillow Talk show, I don't know how to explain that. That's usually me, and we get James Parker. He joins us. Sunglasses. He joins us from time to time, although he's getting back into his art after taking quite some time off, and he's spending time at his studio and gallery now trying to create, and I could not be happier. Could not be happier. He's a very talented guy. He is a really cool artist. And, I want him to make me something. make me something for the backdrop here, man. God! No, not just that. It's good for our mental health to be engaging openly with whatever our talents are. And if you go through life and you haven't discovered your talent, maybe tomorrow. It's always out there. Everybody's got one. Everybody's got something that they're good at. Me, watching TV. That's what I'm really good at. Watching TV and then talking about what I've watched. That's like my superpower. Him, he's got a bunch. He can do art. He can do all that. Hi, no. Let's see. People starting to climb here in the chat room. I gotta tell you, folks, this is boy. All right, let's get the maintenance out of the way. It is January 11th, the 11th day of the year. 354 days remain until the end of the year. Do we have leap year this year? Is it a leap year? I don't know. What is the temperature here? Let me see what's going on here, because it is freezing here in North Texas. It is so cold. Look at that. It is 53 degrees. Brr! And I'm doing that because I know that there are people in the Midwest watching, people in Chicago where it's like 0, where it's like -1. Ooh, 53. Oh my God. It could go up to the 60s today. Tomorrow, look at this in North Texas. Tomorrow, 65 and sunny. Thursday, 70 and sunny. And then it looks like it's going to get cold again on Saturday. But we shall persevere. We shall make it through here in the frigid southern United States. All right, here's a problem. And I'll tell you straight from the outset on today's show. Now, today we're supposed to talk about current events. Man, there is like nothing going on. Yesterday we did, I think, 2 hours and 45 minutes, something like that. We did a much longer show because there was just so much going on, and I just kept having topics pop up. Hopefully that occurs today. Hopefully some things pop up during the course of the show. And I'm putting it on you, the fine listener there gathering in the chat room. Anything pops up, you got to let me know. You got to say, hey, this is happening, because sometimes I miss it when I'm in the middle of the show. But there is not a whole, there's some political stuff. There's some politically divisive stuff. You got your Fauci stuff. He's fighting with somebody. You got, you got a bunch of Fox News people saying some crazy stuff. You got a bunch of like wackadoos on the left saying crazy stuff today. We don't do that here. We try and split the middle. We try and just talk about the things that appeal to all of us, the things that unite us, as opposed to the things that divide us. And occasionally I'll have some hot takes that you'll disagree with, but I'm not trying to be divisive. I guess maybe I just naturally am when it comes to specific topics. But we stay away from religion. We stay away from politics. We stay away from wrestling. I don't talk about wrestling. I don't talk about K-pop. We do not celebrate K-pop birthdays on this show. And let me tell you, a big part of putting this show together is what's trending on Twitter and what's trending on Facebook and what's trending. And oh my God, those people in the social media networks, they love their K-pop. They just love it. And apparently there's more than one band. I always thought there was just the one band, BTS. And after a few days of looking at this, I'm like, how many members are in BTS? No, there's like a whole bunch of K-pop bands. So I am not going to learn about them. I believe K-pop is a fad here on our golden shores of the United States of America. I do not believe that in 20 years we will be drowning in K-pop boy bands the way we are now. At some point, God willing, the the garage band with guitars and drums will come back into vogue. And then maybe we'll have what I will call normal music back. Normal music. Not to besmirch whatever K-pop is. It's just, do they even speak English? I mean, my big thing, I'm a lyrics guy. I like lyrics. I like somebody who can paint a picture in a simple sentence of a song. And if, can K-pop do that for me? Can K-pop? Did you guys hear that? You hear that? The dog, it's another thing that's going to distract me today. The dog is here. And the dog is laying in the bedroom. Now, why is the dog here? Because I've got a back porch off the 1%er guest house that I live in and broadcast from. And for some reason, the dog has taken to coming up on my porch, comes up the steps and sort of stands like a sentry at the corner of the porch and watches everything that happens on the... Can you hear that? She's just, and she'll bark and bark and bark and bark and bark. And we got a neighbor across the way. We'll call him Dr. Snotface. Let's play on his name. He's got a name with snot in it. So Dr. Snotface, he's complained a couple of times. And animal control has called us here at the 1%er compound and said your dog is barking. So now whenever the dog comes up on the back porch and starts to bark, I have to drag her in here. And sure enough, 5 minutes before the show started, the dog is out there barking at something, a squirrel, something, maybe a plastic bag blown in the wind, whatever. She's dumb. She's a lovable dog, but she doesn't appear to be all that bright. She's untrainable. She can hardly learn any tricks. She can't learn anything. All she's driven by is patrolling the yard, killing squirrels, and barking at crap in the back greenway. That's all she does. And right at this moment, she is in the bedroom, laying on the floor. We got a little blanket that we lay there with some pillows underneath it. And she lays on the floor and she's just moaning. She's just going, oh God, I think she's coming. I hear her chain rattling. That means she's just laying there going, like this is the worst experience of her life. All right, so we're gonna not be distracted by that. Although, why not be distracted by it? Because honestly, there is very little happening in the world. Let's get started with our moment of joy. Why not? Since there's very little to go on today, a little moment of joy. This is a fun one. I enjoy this one. Here, let me show this to you. Here, we'll make it big. See if we can get to it. Here we go. Is it sharing? Let's see. It is. Okay, look at this guy. All right, here we go. This guy is a very nice-looking gentleman, young man. He's a teacher, and he has a story to share about his students that I thought you might enjoy.
These high school students got me fighting for my life this week. Yesterday, I had to cover a new class, and I thought, okay, great. This is just going to be another day of teaching. Now, to give some context, this is the outfit I wore to school yesterday.
Very nice outfit. He looks stylish. That's a nice turtleneck. I don't know if I could pull it off, but it's certainly a nice outfit. He looks fine. If he walked into a party dressed like that, people would say, well, there's a gentleman who knows how to dress fashionably, or not excessively so, but certainly in step with the times. He's got nice glasses. He's got white tennis shoes. He seems to have some sort of, not really skinny pants, but they are tight. They are not tapered, but they are tight at the ankle. And, I'd say he looks good. He's got his mask. This is how he walks into class.
Hey, thought nothing of it. It's giving me cozy yet professional. Literally, the moment I step foot into class, a kid in the back row goes, "Yo, who invited the mom from Coraline?" These kids are ruthless. I'm out here getting ethered by kids who weren't even alive when Shrek 2 was released. So, anyway, teaching is a great profession, and I enjoy it.
Hey, who invited the mom from Coraline? That's pretty good. That kid's quick. You ever seen Coraline? You guys got kids, or maybe you just like animation? Coraline's good. Coraline is Coraline's cool. It's weird. It's like bizarre. It's like, I don't even know. I was watching it with my son, and we love it because there's a song the dad plays on the piano. Coraline. We like that song. It's a good song. Coraline's good. Coraline's weird though. It's a weird thing. Let's see here. Let's jump into the chat room quickly. Jeff Glenn says, "Hey, Pugs, remember that music fad that hit when we were in high school? I believe it was called rap. It wasn't a fad. I knew it wasn't a fad. I knew it wasn't a fad. I knew it was something. I knew it was going to be big. Afternoon, Steve. Steve says afternoon. Cool Mom says it's 0 here in Chicago. Yeah, 0. What's the wind chill, Sally? If it's 0 in Chicago, that means the wind chill's like what? What do you got? What are you rocking? -20 there in Chicago? And it's getting worse. It's going to be worse. I was looking at the chill map today, and even colder air is starting to move through the Midwest and the Great Lakes region. Oh, man. Very, very pleased to be in the balmy South at this time of year. April says it's not a leap year. My son was born on leap year, and he is turning 4.5 this year. Okay. All right. Very good. I don't understand leap year. I never really got that. All right. We like to go through what's happened on this day in history, just so that you know whether today's an important day or not. And like I said, it is not, this is like, nothing happens today. 19 states enacted new voter restrictions in 20. See, not going to talk about that. Not going to talk about the breaking news that I'm reading right now. I guess that's not breaking. Today's lame, folks. I don't know what to tell you. Today is not much going on. On this day in 1927, Louis B. Mayer, head of the film studio Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer, announces the creation of the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences at a banquet in Los Angeles. Happy birthday, Oscars! On this day, the Oscars were formed. The Academy of Motion Pictures Arts and Sciences, I think. Yeah, that's it. In 1935, Amelia Earhart became the first person to fly solo from Hawaii to California. That's not when she disappeared, right? What was she trying to do when she disappeared? Was she trying to do anything when she disappeared, or did she just disappear? I'm not up on my Amelia Earhart stuff, but congratulations. You flew from Hawaii to California. Oops, excuse me. In 1964, on this day, the Surgeon General of the United States, Luther Terry, publishes the landmark report, Smoking and Health, Report of the Advisory Committee to the Surgeon General of the United States, which stated that smoking may be hazardous to your health, sparking national and worldwide anti-smoking efforts. I believe there was a Mad Men episode about this report. I want to say, because one of their big clients was a cigarette company. They were all thrown into a tizzy about how they were going to, or maybe it was a movie. Maybe it was Thank You for Smoking or Thank You for Not Smoking, whatever. I don't know, whatever it was. But yeah, on this day in 1964, they finally went public with, hey, burning leaves and ingesting or inhaling tar into your lungs, that might be hazardous. It might be. Cigarettes, the first cocaine. Cocaine was another thing that nobody... you mean sniffing this powder that makes my heart race 5 times its normal beat pattern might be hazardous? Hold on, Mr. Popular. Getting hit up by people. And I'm totally willing to be distracted because like I said, there's not a whole lot going on today. But we're gonna muscle through it. We're gonna get through it. Smoking, yeah. Okay, so smoking, as it turns out, was hazardous. I always enjoy when you see movies or television shows that are depicting life back in the 60s or the 50s, and someone goes to the doctor, and inevitably the doctor will be smoking. That's just one of the things that you will always see. That's one of the little effects that they always have. All right, it's 1955, and you're going to see a doctor about your polio. The doctor will inevitably have a cigarette hanging out of his mouth. That's how they depict it. I don't know that that was ever necessarily the case, although I will say this. I remember going to a doctor as a little kid, and at the time I thought it was great, but I don't. There was a dog in his office, like a big, hairy, shaggy dog that would just walk in and out of the exam rooms and move around. And I remember as a little kid thinking, that boy, isn't that wonderful? But now when I think back, you couldn't do that, right? You couldn't have a dirty, hairy, long-haired dog just walking around a medical facility. That didn't seem sterile. That didn't seem clean. But, you know, we were crazy back then. Oh, here, now the dog's out. Now the dog is moving around. Just trying to get in the garbage. Get out of the garbage! Hey! That's how you got to talk to a dog. You go, oh, geez, and now she's coming. I wasn't calling you. I wasn't. Go lay down, dude. Go lay down. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Here she is. All right, get out of here. Thank you. I've had to secure with tape and boundaries all the wires and everything that we have here in the house, in the little studio area, because the dog will inevitably get her leg caught on something and she'll unplug some, and it'll be bad. Please go lay down. Go lay down. I'm not going to let you out. If I let you out, you're going to bark. And if you bark, I'm going to have to get up and stop. There you go. Just lay down. That's it. All right. Now she's doing that thing where she's going to just bark every couple of minutes, like I'm ignoring her. On this day in 1973, Major League Baseball owners vote to approve the American League adopting the designated hitter position. And now here we are all these years later, and I'm telling you, the DH is coming to the National League. Can't come fast enough. I know that purists, but Pugs, I thought you were writing a book about the White Sox and their history. Well, I am. And I am a purist in some ways. But no, I believe that the sport needs to evolve in order to stay competitive. And quite frankly, very few people like baseball anymore. I think my 12-year-old son, only because he's my 12-year-old son, is the only 12-year-old on the planet that still likes baseball. I can't imagine this sport surviving another 100 years at the current rate that it's going. They got to do some things that are going to make it a little more exciting. And quite frankly, watching in the National League a pitcher hit, just standing there with a bat on his shoulder and taking 3 straight strikes and then walking back to the dugout, killing whatever rally, killing whatever hopes, killing whatever chances there were of some sort of a exciting play occurring, that's going to kill the sport. Now, yes, I know on occasion a pitcher will go long. I know that there are some pitchers, that can hit the ball out of the park, and once every 1,000 at-bats that occurs, but that's not enough. And baseball purists, please do not stay anchored to this belief that baseball must remain the way it was in 1920, because stop it. You're killing the sport. We need to do things that make the sport a little bit more fun, a little bit more action. And in 1973, on this day, the American League went, okay, let's make it a little more fun. And now we have the designated hitter. Chicks dig the long ball, and so apparently does everybody else. Baseball needs the designated hitter rule in both leagues. But I am not, you're going to ruin the sport. No, I'm not. I haven't ruined the sport. People don't hate the Yankees. People don't hate the Red Sox. I mean, arguably the most popular teams in all of baseball are in the American League. So just stop it. Stop it. I know change is hard. And as we get older, when we're confronted with something that doesn't fit what we're programmed to accept as the truth or the reality, we get angry. We get angry because, man, now I got to think about something new. Well, maybe we should all start thinking about new things. Maybe we should start challenging ourselves. Maybe we need to all start accepting change. And I know that the designated hitter is an abomination to what Abner Doubleday and I understand that, but stop it. We're trying to desperately save a dying sport. My God, my kid likes soccer more than he likes baseball. And my kid kind of likes baseball. And as I said, he's the only 12-year-old I know that walks around in a baseball cap. All right. I've gotten off my baseball. Let's see here. In the year 2020 on this day, the COVID-19 pandemic in Hubei, China, municipal health officials in Wuhan announced the first recorded death of COVID-19. First recorded death. What are we up to? Like 100 billion now? With the first person to die of COVID died on this day in 2020. So there we have it. We do plane crashes. We like to talk about plane crashes because I believe that every day between 1945 and the year 2000, there was some mechanical failure, some kind. They hadn't worked all the bugs out of commercial airline travel. 45 and 2000, I believe that every single day there was a plane crash of some sort, some note, something that was worthy of mentioning. Now, we got to January 3rd, and there were no plane crashes. There wasn't one, not one of note to mention, and that's a good thing. However, there were 4 commuter train disasters on that day. 4 very big, hundreds of people died in 4 different train derailments on January 3rd. No plane crashes, but there were train accidents. So on this day, the 11th day of January, none. There are none. There are none. There are no commuter travel accidents of any kind to report. Nothing of note, nothing that made any of the Google searches, nothing that made the Wikipedia list of things that happened on this day. Nothing. So I think we've got it, folks. I think we've got the safest day for human travel so far is January 11th. There is nothing thankfully, there is nothing that happened today. All right, so let's do some birthdays. What do you say? Born on this day in 1942 and died in 2011. This is a sad one. My favorite saxophonist of all time. Happy birthday, big man! Clarence Clemens of the E Street Band was born on this day in 1942. I love Clarence Clemens. The E Street Band, Bruce Springsteen's band. Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band. E Street Band. I hear a lot of people seemingly pronouncing it as East Street Band, but it's the E Street Band. It's Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band. They ain't been the same. Band ain't been the same since Clarence passed away. And I get a new guy. It's somebody new who's playing saxophone. It ain't Clarence though. And Clarence was sort of like what would it be? He would be like Bruce's enforcer, Bruce's right-hand man, Bruce's best buddy. Of all the people in the E Street Band, I would say that Clarence Clemens was the second leader, the co-captain, the guy who was sort of front and center right there next to him. He always wore cool-ass pimp-looking suits with multiple colors, and he was gigantic. He played pro football, or at least was drafted by the Cleveland Browns, I want to say. I don't know that he ever actually played a game. I think he got injured. Took up the saxophone and became one of the best and coolest presences in rock and roll for a long time. So happy birthday, big man. Clarence Clemens, born on this day in 1942. Very sad day in December 11th when he died. Wasn't expecting that. That wasn't fun. Happy birthday, Clarence. Also born on this day in 1971. Here's a big one. She's one of the more important females in the modern era of singer-songwriting and rhythm and blues and hip-hop, urban music. Mary J. Blige. Mary J. Blige was born on this day in 1971. And what is today? Let's talk about what today is. Look, folks, I know I'm kind of slow rolling a little bit. There's very little things to talk about today. All the shit that's trending is just dumb. Today, January 11th, is National Shop for Travel Day. I don't know, are there travel deals? Is it, we're in the dead of winter. Everybody's thinking about making summer vacation plans. You got to get your head in that space. Maybe get you through these. Are they the dog days of winter? The polar bear days of winter? Whatever. National Shop for Travel Day is today. January 11th is also National Arkansas Day. I got a take on Arkansas. Arkansas is much maligned. People in Arkansas, especially by people in the North, are nothing sort of epitomize. Well, maybe Mississippi, maybe Alabama. Okay, so there are a few states that are also much maligned by much of the country. Arkansas is definitely one of them. But here's the problem with Arkansas. Y'all, Arkansas, and I said y'all because we're talking about Arkansas. Arkansas is gorgeous. Arkansas is like the most beautiful part of it's so pretty. I mean, you can have your Rocky Mountains and all that stuff. It's beautiful. You got the Ozarks in Arkansas. You got all kinds of like mountains and hills and rivers and valleys and trees and forests. And it's just so pretty. And every time I drive through Arkansas, and I drive through Arkansas quite a bit in my commutes between Chicago and Dallas. Every time I drive through Arkansas, I'm like, my God, is this a beautiful place? This is such a gorgeous. And then, you see something just rank with hillbilly, and it's like, okay, it's ruined. It's wrecked. State is wrecked. It's the most beautiful place in the country, inhabited by some of the most bizarre people in the country. We'll say that. We'll say bizarre. The most interesting, also populated by the most interesting. Arkansas. Arkansas is fantastic. Tennessee is beautiful too, Jeff Glenn says. Steve says, Arkansas is badass. I live on a lake called Greer's Ferry, and it is beautiful. It is, Steve. Arkansas is Arkansas is really beautiful. Every time I drive through it, I'm like, my God, I could live here. I don't know what's it like, Steve, when you go to like the local diner, though, and when you have to stand in line for, a coffee at the local gas station, because I don't think they have Starbucks in Arkansas. I don't know. I like Arkansas. I've stayed in Little Rock. I've stayed in other places, West Memphis. I stayed in. I like Arkansas. I like Arkansas. Arkansas is beautiful, but you see a lot of Confederate flags and stuff like that, and I don't know. That kind of spoils the mood a little bit when you see all kinds of stuff that is maybe a little bit frightening, which suggests maybe an ideology that doesn't jive with the natural beauty and landscape of the area. But hey, whatever. That's fine. January 11th, National Human Trafficking Awareness Day. So be aware that human trafficking is a thing today. So happy day to all you human traffickers out there. January 11th, National Milk Day. Are you milk drinkers? Are you a big? I like milk. I don't drink nearly as much milk as I once did. Milk with cereal is the best thing. Ice cold milk with cereal. I'll tell you, my idea, my $1 million idea to open a chain of cereal restaurants where we just serve cereal. Now, I know that sounds ridiculous. Pugs, yeah, definitely sounds ridiculous. No, I know it sounds ridiculous. But the idea is like college campuses, wherever there is a condensed population of people who are sort of still immature, and I want to purposely infantilize them even more. 18, 19-year-old kids who still sometimes have the mindset of a 12-year-old on Saturday morning. Here's the idea. I haven't come up with a great name for the cereal bar. And I know it's been tried. I know, but I came up with this idea years ago. And then things started popping up. And I think there was one in Times Square. Times Square? You don't do a cereal bar in Times Square. What the hell kind of stupid miscalculation is that? College campuses. You put them on every college campus in the country. You can just have a chain of 200, 300, 400 restaurants if you only open on college campuses. And here's what they are. Okay. I'll pitch it to you. Any of you big money folks out there who are listening, who want to be a part of this and get in on the ground floor, you can contact me. Okay. So it's a restaurant. It looks like a diner, except that, there's TVs everywhere, right? There's TVs, and all the TVs are doing nothing but showing cartoons. Like Saturday morning. See, we're doing like a Saturday morning thing. So it's all cartoons, and you walk up, and it's almost like a buffet, like a cafeteria style, and you can get like maybe 3 different sizes of bowls. You can get a normal bowl, you can get a medium bowl, and then you can get like the big giant bowl. Like I used to eat a cereal. I used to eat cereal out of pots. I would get a big, because I would inevitably eat half the box of cereal in one sitting. And I didn't want to have, bowls are made for normal people. So if you take a bowl out of your mom's cabinet and you're pouring cereal, and that's not enough. That is just, I'm going to eat half the box. So I would get a pot. I would get maybe a giant plastic Tupperware container or something. So that's it. You get 3 different choices. You get small, which is what the girls will probably get, petite little girls. I just want a little bit of cereal. I just want a little bit. You get that. You get a medium, which is maybe for people who want to pretend like they don't want to overeat, but they do want more cereal. And then you get the big jumbo bowl. And you walk down this cafeteria like buffet line with your bowl. And what we have behind there are these big plastic containers of all the different kinds of cereals. And I haven't decided. I think it's going to be self-serve. I think you're going to be able to mix and match, kind of like a froyo place, where you have all of the froyos and you can mix up if you want. I think I'm going to allow that. And we're going to have interesting concoctions as suggestions for people. So then you fill your bowl with cereal, right? And then you get to a milk one, and you're also going to have choices on milk. You have white milk, soy milk, whatever, chocolate milk, strawberry milk, banana milk, whatever it is that you want to use for your cereal. And you go, and you fill that up. Then we get to the fruits. Then you can start adding fruit. And then you weigh it. You weigh it at the end and you pay based on the weight, maybe on the bowl too. I don't know. I have to study how froyo does it, because froyo places seem to have that process down, and they seem to be. So it's going to be like froyo except for cereal. And then you take your bowl and you go, no chairs in this place. Because remember, it's for young people on college campuses. Maybe bean bags. We'll do some bean bags, maybe a couch, maybe something like that with coffee tables. But it's the design of the thing isn't going to look like a restaurant. It's going to look like a place where college kids could come with their books before class, get a giant thing of cereal, watch cartoons, and maybe do their homework. I'm telling you, this is going to be a thing. I don't know why it hasn't been done yet. That's probably just, well, that's the thing, Pugs. Just because you don't know why it hasn't been done yet doesn't mean that there are very good reasons why it hasn't been done yet. That's true. But man, could you imagine like a little bit of like, so you get some Captain Crunch, then you get some chocolate, whatever, whatever the chocolate one is of your choice. So you got some peanut butter, you got some chocolate, then maybe you add some banana milk to that, maybe a little banana milk and some chocolate milk, maybe a banana chocolate. People like that. Then you go down the line, and then what do? Maybe you throw some granola in there, maybe you throw some bananas, some straw. Oh my God. And then we'll have big comically large spoons. That's another thing. Because, the problem with eating cereal as a kid is that you would almost always try to get the big tablespoon because you wanted to scoop up as much as possible. And even the big tablespoon wasn't enough. So I'm going to have big comically large spoons. And you can choose your spoon. Which spoon do you want? Do you want the normal spoon like a normal person? Do you want a larger than normal spoon? Or do you want the comically large spoon? And I think the comically large spoon will probably be popular. So happy National Milk Day today, January 11th. Also, January 11th, it's National Step in a Puddle Day. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't read the whole thing. It's National Step in a Puddle and Splash Your Friends Day. Try that bullshit with me. First of all, it's January 11th. A great part of the United States doesn't have puddles on January 11th. They have treacherous ice patches that maybe at one point were puddles. So maybe this is just something for the folks in the South. National Step in a Puddle Day. Splash Your Friends Day. Okay. What else do we have here? Should we get into the things that are trending? I am looking at this day, gang, and I am just, I'm like, how am I going to get 2 hours out of this? I don't know. All right. So trending today, we got the big national championship football game. Georgia beats Bama 33-18. Did you see the game last night? That's the whole reason that we didn't do a pillow talk last night, because I wasn't overly interested in the game, but because it's a national championship football game, and I think I've watched every one for the last, 30 years of my life, 40 years of my life at least. I had to watch it. It's a big deal. I had to watch it. And I am so glad I did. What a great game. I am not an SEC guy, right? I don't love the SEC. I don't love, not because of any sort of, provincial ideas or because of, geography. I don't like the SEC because I don't like Alabama. What's that, Pugs? The guy who runs your whole platform is an Alabama diehard. Yeah, I know Ed is an Alabama diehard. He's got some fakakta story about Bear Bryant as a kid that, I tune out whenever I hear it. And I'm like, okay, whatever. So, but fine. Alabama is a juggernaut of a football team. They are amazing. And I just don't understand how they can be so much better than every other. Why are these athletes going to live in Alabama? Have they never seen USC's campus? Have they never been? I mean, I don't get it. I don't get it. But they do. And God bless Alabama. And that was the reason that I wasn't necessarily interested in the game. The number one team in the nation for most of the college football season this past year was Georgia Bulldogs. Bulldogs! Kirby Smart's team looked like they were heads and tails better than every other team in the nation, including all the teams they had to play in the SEC. And then they got into a little bit of a skirmish with Alabama in the what was that, the SEC title game, I think it was, and they lost. The number one team in the nation, who looked like they were unbeatable, finally comes up against Alabama and they lose. No, it wasn't the title game. I think it was just their natural meeting, and they lose. And I was like, oh, for Christ's sake! Oh. I mean, I was rooting for Georgia all season. I was like, thankfully, there's going to be a team that's going to take out the arrogant Saban and his juggernaut of a team. And then Bama beats them. So when the rematch was scheduled for the national championship game between Georgia and Alabama, I was not into it. I was like, I don't need to see this again. I don't need a reminder that Alabama is better than everybody else. And the game was a defensive battle, boy. I'll tell you, the game for the first half, even in the third quarter, it was like 6-3, the field goals. Defenses were stopping people. And then, God love them, Kirby Smart's boys, Georgia Bulldogs, they went crazy in the fourth quarter. They pulled it out. They won 33-18, a blowout, a decisive blowout. Is that a blowout? 10, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 17 points against Alabama is a blowout. That's a blow. Alabama, probably their worst loss in a couple of years. Gotta be, right? Bama doesn't lose 33-18. And one of the reasons this is trending is because Georgia's quarterback, Stetson Bennett, was seen crying on the sideline. Crying. And, it's a sweet moment, but a lot of people were like, you're crying. And I did think it was kind of interesting that, manly men only seem to cry when there's a trophy at stake. That's the only acceptable time for a man to cry. But, me being very aware of mental health, very conscious of, all of the stuff that we boggle inside of us that we don't let out, that leads to men going nuts. Men tend to stuff every emotion that isn't socially acceptable deep down inside of them until they get to a moment and they flip out on somebody. Typically it's in traffic. Maybe it's in line at Target. Maybe somebody's asked them to wear a mask when they didn't have one, whatever it is. So, I'm all for a young man in Stetson Bennett, who was a walk-on at Georgia, going up against, and by the way, Stetson Bennett, he had a pretty bad end of the game the first time they played Alabama. And he took a lot of blame, and a lot of people were saying, well, maybe this is the best team in the country, but we don't have the right quarterback. And he led his team. Well, there was a pick six. That was awesome. I love that. I love Bryce Young, Heisman Trophy winner, throws a pick six. That was nice. I like seeing that because, again, he plays for Alabama. Nothing against Bryce Young. Nothing against wonderful man. He may end up somewhere, and I'll root for him in the pros possibly. Who knows? But as long as he plays for Alabama, I want none of it. So it was nice. It was nice to see Stetson Bennett, the walk-on quarterback who redeemed himself in the national championship game, was crying on the sideline, and a lot of people were commenting on that. I thought it was nice. I thought it was good. I thought it was healthy to see somebody just release their emotions after achieving a goal that they had probably been visualizing and working towards their entire life. Apparently, when he was 10 years old, we always hear these stories. When he was 10 years old, he wrote a school report about how he was going to be the quarterback at the University of Georgia, and he was going to win a national championship. And he did. So good for him. That's awesome. The other thing that's trending here today is about Saban, head coach of the Alabama Crimson Tide. Is Saban gone? People are wondering, why would he? I mean, here's what I think. he's got a thing down there. He's got a machine. Look, Alabama isn't down and out. Alabama's going to be great again next year. It's like the Patriots. The Alabama Crimson Tide are like the Patriots of college football. Every year somebody says, well, they're done. Well, thank God that's over. And then they just reload and they're good again. But there is talk that Saban may be looking to achieve. He has built the greatest college football, even though he lost yesterday, but he's won a few national titles. He's built an unquestioned powerhouse of a college football franchise in one of the most legendary places for college football, Alabama. And, he lost his title. So does he now try and do the one thing that he seemingly has failed at in his coaching career, which is make it in the NFL? If you remember, he coached down in Miami for a cup of coffee. And then as soon as the Alabama job came open, he left the Miami Dolphins to come and do what he did at Alabama. And there are a lot of pro football coaching jobs open. And there is talk that Saban could, this is my prediction, but it's also something that I've read. Saban could end up with the Raiders. Mark Day. Come on, think about that. Think about Saban. Well, the Vegas Raiders are, first of all, they shouldn't be firing their interim coach. If you remember, the Raiders got rid of their coach, John Gruden, early in the season because of some emails that were uncovered between him and the president of the Washington football team. And, he had to go. Apparently, he's a racist. Even though, a lifetime of coaching people of all colors has never revealed that John Gruden's a racist. But an email, look, I got to be honest, poor choice of words. He tried to make an insult towards somebody in an email, and he went racial with the insult. And it wasn't like, I hate that effing N. It wasn't that blatant, but it was, he fell into the old trope about African-American men and their lips and all that. It's just it was clumsy, it was ugly, it was awkward, it was unnecessary. There was no reason for him to go there, and he did, and he got blown out of the Raiders. Now, since the Raiders lost their coach, Bichetti, I can't pronounce that. I'm not all that familiar with him, but the interim coach of the Raiders has him in the playoffs. So, how do you fire after a team has gone through what the Vegas Raiders have gone through this year, losing their coach, the incident with Henry Ruggs, their wide receiver who killed people while drunk driving. After all of that, and to have this interim coach step in and get that team in the play, we're talking about a team that lost this year to the Chicago Bears. That's who we're talking about. And yet this coach got their heads right and got them in a position where now they're going to play in a wild card game. They've made the playoffs. How do you fire that coach after all that has happened this year to still deliver that team into the playoffs? How do you fire that guy? Well, simple. When the owner of your team's last name is Davis. He is Mark Davis. He is the son of Al Davis, and it's all about the show, baby. What is Las Vegas about? It's about Daz. This coach that they've got is not, he's not a big name. He's not a draw. He's not Celine Dion doing a residency at one of the Vegas hotels. He's like some dude crooning in one of the lounges. That's not in on brand for what I believe the Las Vegas Raiders are trying to accomplish. They've got that gorgeous state. So what they're saying is basically that Mark Davis might, do another one of these massive, crazy paydays, bring in Saban, and fire Mike Mayock, the general manager, who's been there for a few years now, and give the entire football operation to Saban. Would Saban do that? Would he leave Alabama to have total control of an NFL team? Well, that's trending. That's why that's trending. So we shall see. Bob Saget. We got to talk a little bit about this. This is trending. His death is being investigated. Now, again, we don't know how 65-year-old Bob Saget, who was found dead in a hotel room on Sunday evening in Orlando after performing shows in Jacksonville and Orlando over the weekend, found unresponsive. Bob Saget's cause of death being investigated, the story says here. An autopsy was completed on Bob Saget Monday, according to the Orange County Medical Examiner in Florida. At this time, there is no evidence of drug use or foul play, Chief Medical Examiner Joshua Stephanie said in a statement to CNN. The cause and manner of death are pending further studies and investigation, which may take up to 10 to 12 weeks to complete. Just an aside here. I saw one of these troublemakers, one of these ridiculous people on Twitter last night, and their tweet was, and it got like 20,000 clicks and a couple thousand retweets, and it was, why aren't they telling us why Bob Saget died? What are they doing? Who is keeping from us the cause of death of Bob Saget? Dude had been dead for 24 hours. Has this person never? Does this person not understand what an investigation is? But of course they do. Of course, they've got a blue check. They're a smart person. Of course they understand that you're not supposed to know immediately how someone died. There has to be an autopsy. There has to be tests. These things always take multiple weeks to find. Always, consistently. There has never been somebody who has passed away of note who we've all been waiting to find out how they died, where we learned it the next day, unless it was, obvious, like, a gunshot or something like that. Of course, this person knows that. However, again, this is the manipulation that we're seeing by otherwise bright people. Maybe if your goal is to manipulate, this is an example of how bright you are. They know why we don't know, because we don't know right away, because it takes a while for the investigation. But what they also know is that the stupid people who they're trying to manipulate, the people who are neck deep in every possible conspiracy theory that's out there, they know that these people will believe anything. These people. So if we just put it out there that they're keeping something from us, they're not telling us why Bob Saget died, then you can gin up the rubes the way seems to be everybody on just stop it. We're going to have to wait. We're going to have to wait to find out why Bob Saget, just like we had to wait for everybody famous that has passed away suddenly. It hasn't been the next day where we find out. At this time, there's no evidence of drug use or foul play. The cause and manner of death are pending further studies. We should find out in 10 to 12 weeks. That seems pretty normal. The Fuller House and Full House star was found dead in his Orlando hotel room Sunday. He was 65 years old. The Orlando County Sheriff's Office released a death investigation report obtained by CNN, which stated they found no signs of foul play in the orderly hotel room. So it's like, they didn't walk in and find him laying dead on the floor with pizza boxes and overturned bottles from the what is that called? The refrigerator, the pay refrigerator, whatever they call that. God, how old am I getting? I have this happen all the time. Things that I just know, I suddenly don't know. What is that called? What is that? Pay bar? What is that called in a hotel room? What is it called? It's gone. It's gone. Who knows? I guess learning about Stetson Bennett, the quarterback for the Georgia Bulldogs, I guess that something had to move, and what got moved out was whatever that's called. Well, so his room wasn't trashed. It was an orderly room. He was everything to Saget had been expected to check out of the Ritz-Carlton on Sunday. Minibar, thank you. Minibar. That was totally gone from my head. Saget had been expected to check out of the Ritz-Carlton on Sunday morning, and his family members contacted hotel security when they were unable to reach the star. He was everything to us, and we want you to know how much he loved his fans, performing live and bringing people from all walks of life together with laughter, the Saget family said in a statement to CNN on Sunday night. Though we ask for privacy at this time, we invite you to join us in remembering the love and the laughter that Bob brought to the world. There you have it. So we don't know. We're not going to know for a while. Let's see. Also, Jimmy Kimmel is trending today, also having to do with Bob Saget. So I thought I'd show this. This was kind of pretty. But Jimmy Kimmel came out last night and opened his show. And we'll share this. We'll give it a watch. Hold on. It's taking a little bit of time here.
Hi.
All right. Okay. Let's do this. Sorry, folks. Jimmy Kimmel is trending because he did a nice, a pretty little tribute to Bob Saget yesterday. So let's give that a listen. Let's watch it. Here we go.
Hi, Before we start the show, before the audience shows up, I wanted to say a few words about Bob Saget. If you read anything about Bob online last night, if you saw any of the many thoughts from people who knew him personally, a word that came up a lot was the sweetest. And Bob was the sweetest. He was the sweetest man. And the reason people wrote that is because it's true. It's the best word. If you had to pick one word to describe him, that was it, the sweetest. I have so many wonderfully kind and supportive texts and emails, calls from Bob. He always had a compliment. He would write sometimes just to tell me he loved me, and I know he did that for many people. He was so funny, and I'm not talking about Full House or America's Funniest Home Videos or stand-up comedy or movies. I mean funny for real. Like when you walked into a party, you saw Bob and his wife Kelly in the corner, you go straight to them and stay for as long as you could because he had something funny to say about everything and nothing bad to say about anyone. Never. If there were people he didn't like, he kept it to himself. He was, unlike me, he was a good person. Bob lost his sister, Andrea, to a brain aneurysm and his sister, Gay, to a disease called scleroderma. It just so happened that Bob had been doing fundraisers to fight scleroderma 3 years before his sister got it. It's a rare disease, and it was a freak thing. And when Gay was diagnosed, Bob later joined the board of directors for the Scleroderma Research Foundation. He hosted and booked fundraisers every year up until last year. We did many of them together. He was very committed to finding a cure for this incurable disease that took his sister's life. And I know that if you want to remember him, there's nothing he would appreciate more than if you support SRF. You can go to their website and take a look at what they do there. So last night I was going through emails with Bob, and some of them were just funny, but some were very serious emails about life and the well-being of our children and how hard it is to appreciate one of those without the other being just right. In one email, we're talking about our kids, and I have it here. He wrote, one night soon, let's go out and have some meat and some good damn drinks and talk about how lucky we are that we have them. And we did do that many times. When my son was in the hospital, Bob checked in a lot. So I want to send love to his daughters, to his wife, Kelly, and to his friends who loved him so much. He was very kind to everyone, and he had no problem telling you that he loved you and what you meant to him. In 2017, after our mutual friend Don Rickles died, Bob and John Stamos, who were beyond friends, they were brothers. They are brothers. They were like this. And Bob was the tall one. He was the middle finger. Bob and John joined me on the show to eulogize Don, to tell stories about him and how much we were going to miss him. We never imagined that 4.5 years later, we'd be talking about, I'm sorry I taped this like 14 times and I just, anyway, we had a beautiful conversation that night. You could see when John and Bob were talking about how much they loved Don, how much they loved each other. And so I thought it might be nice before we go on with the show, regular show, to share just a bit of that one more time as we remember Bob.
Well, I never thought we'd be friends this long. My God, the first 4 years we worked together, we weren't like besties. You were bringing all the hot women in the world to the show. You had a mullet. You were Uncle Jesse, and I was a married guy and living in the Palisades. I didn't know what the hell was going on. You were getting action all the time. I was trying to write jokes at night.
You were, as Don would call you, a whiny Jew.
You guys are going to be like the old guys on the Muppets. Sitting next to each other.
I hope that happens. I hope so, too. John Stamos, Bob Saget, everybody.
We love you, Bob, and we'll be right back.
All right.
Hi.
Well, how about that? That was unexpected. I think those two men we've talked about, two men crying publicly. We had Stetson Bennett crying, and Jimmy Kimmel last night on his show. So that's why Jimmy Kimmel is trending today. All right, let's get into some of the other things that are trending. We're going to run through these as quick as we can. Like I said, because there's really not a whole lot to talk about. KFC has unveiled their Beyond Chicken. It's in stores nationally. So if you want to have something that tastes like chicken but isn't chicken, is actually made out of meat, you can get down to your local KFC. KFC's Beyond Chicken is now available. And that's got to be gross. We watched a video a couple of days ago when it was announced that they were going to be rolling this out, and the video had just people sampling, the Kentucky Fried Chicken Beyond Chicken, which is a plant-based vegan alternative to what they typically sell. And my theory on this was that, well, it might be passable because honestly, the thing about Kentucky Fried Chicken is the 11 herbs and spices. It's the flavoring, it's the breading that I love so much. I mean, chicken is chicken, really. So if you could just replicate the flavor of the crust and of this, whatever, I don't care what the substance is that's underneath that. That's just, chew on that. So we watched this video of these people, and it wasn't Kentucky Fried Chicken who put out the video. It was some newspaper who did it. I'm sorry, I got something in my eye. It was a newspaper that did it, and they had these people, USA Today. It was USA Today that did it. And so they had all of these people lined up, and they were tasting and giving their natural reaction to the KFC Beyond Chicken. And nobody liked it. Everybody said that it tasted all right, but I believe the best description of what KFC's new Beyond Chicken was from a woman who said, okay, so it's like the worst chicken nugget you've ever had in your life. That's like the most ringing endorsement of what the KFC Beyond Chicken is. So if you want to go out and pay a premium for the worst chicken McNugget that you've ever had in your life, head on down to KFC and get yourself some of that Beyond Chicken. Here's something else. BMW at some car show. BMW unveils the world's first chameleon car that can change colors on demand. Now, hold on. I'm sorry. I got like a hair in my eye or something. Try and fix that. Irritating me. I have been saying for, my eyebrows are out of control, people. Typically, I like to trim up my eyebrows, but a couple weeks ago, my son made fun of me for it. I was plucking my eyebrows, and he made me feel less than masculine about it. But and I think there's like an eyebrow that is like hanging down inside my eye. All right, we'll muscle through it. I've been saying, like, since I was a little kid, I think I saw it maybe in a cartoon. Maybe it was the Mach 5 or something. I don't know. But wouldn't that be cool? Not why can't, because I guess we didn't have this kind of technology. But wouldn't it be cool if, like, you could buy a car, maybe you bought it, it was red, and then somehow, you hit a button and like a whole nother layer would suddenly appear. You could have a red car, you could have a blue car. Some days it could be a white car. Some days it could be a silver car. Some days it could be a black car. Some days it could be a yellow car, whatever. Wouldn't that be cool? That technology doesn't seem so complete. I mean, it would stop. Boy, is there anything worse than buying a bad car color? Is there, like you go to the lot, they got the deal on this car that you really want, but they don't have the color you want. So you end up just buying a car that you're like, okay, I guess I'll buy the brown car. Brown cars. You don't see many brown cars anymore, but there used to be brown cars. The car colors that I can't stand, and I'm sorry if I'm going to offend any of you people out there who may have this car color, is red. I cannot, unless it's a Ferrari. If it's a Ferrari, it can be red. Maybe in some circumstances you could convince me that red would be all right for a Corvette. Maybe. But for the most part, if you don't have some really extravagant sports car and your car is red, you just look like the local fire chief. You just look like you work for the fire department. That's it. Don't have red. Though it's just not a good color. So anyway, and apparently they say that like red cars get pulled over more, which I could totally see that because I want to see the idiot who bought the red car myself. So I'm going to pull that guy over. But again, red cars, I believe, are only acceptable in Ferraris and occasionally Corvettes. And maybe another kind of supercar that I'm not naming. If you got a supercar, you got some like freak show. Me, I like black. I like black cars. I like silver cars. I like chrome cars. That's it. Those are the colors that I like. So BMW has unveiled a new car at this auto show that actually changes colors. So let's get a look at this. This is very exciting. Very exciting new tech. And let's check this out. Let's see how this works. Because are you skeptical? I am. And again, this is like this is first generation of this car changing technology. I imagine that in 5 years or something, it'll be a lot cooler. But here you go. Okay, so let's watch this BMW car. All right, we're sharing it. There we go. We can see it. Yeah, we can see it. All right, so there it is. The new BMW. First of all, is that what that's what the hood looks like? The hood looks all scratched up, doesn't it? Well, that's the tech that's required. Okay, so my car can change colors, but when it's just sitting in that color, it's going to look like the hood is all scratched up. Is that what we're dealing with? Like I said, first generation technology. Never get first generation technology. It's always going to be shitty, and they're going to roll out. You're going to pay a premium for the first generation technology so that you can say, I've got the first generation technology. And then 6 months later, they're going to come out with the second generation technology that is going to be so much better than the bullshit that you just paid a premium for. And so don't wait. Always wait. Wait until they've got the bugs worked out. That typically comes with 2.0 or even later versions. But here you go. Here's the BMW. Oh, but you know, the people out there, they want to be first. You want to be stupid is what you want to be, because first generation technology is not for me. All right, here you go. So this is a new BMW. Apparently it's a car that changes colors. All right, that looks cool. Okay, so we got white with gray stripes. All right.
This is the world's first real color-changing car. There's been fakes out there, there's been projection mapping, there's been light, but this is really energy-efficient color change using the technology e-ink. In terms of legalness, I think this has to be discussed. It's always the case with new technologies. There's just no infrastructure yet for it. What we know is that light...
If you come into crime and you got a car that changes colors and you're trying to get away, that might be helpful.
You can't put that everywhere on the exterior because it's too distracting, and color change is more subtle than light.
I mean, I don't like...
The question we wanted to answer is, can we make a color-changing car? And the answer is yes. And we did it using e-ink. It's the material we know from e-readers, so from Kindles. So it's the reason why you can read your Kindles so nicely in the sun, because there's actual color change going on there.
Oh, look at that thing back there. That's not really like how I envisioned it, you know? And it appears that you get what? 7 shades of gray? That's what it is. You want a car that changes color? What kind of gray do you want? I mean, it looks like...
Yeah. So
that looks kind of cool, but again, we're at a distance. What's it look like really close?
This material is kind of a thick paper, and our challenge was to get this on a 3D object like our cars.
And you just know, like, at some point after it's got like 25,000 miles, it's going to get stuck in like some color, and it's not going to be fully formed, so it's just going to look like a cow. It's going to have like blotches like all over. Yeah, the color changing technology went out after like 20,000 miles, and now I'm stuck with this thing that looks like I'm driving around in a Dalmatian. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I like where they're going with it. I think that that'd be cool. But as I said, you know, I want a car that can be black, it can be white, it can be silver. And then maybe if I want to feel a little fancy, maybe if I want to feel a little silly, maybe I can make it yellow, maybe I can make it green, maybe I can... Wouldn't that sounds like something Elon Musk would be all about, right? Doesn't that seem like something that the next Tesla that comes out, you'll be able to choose what color you want for that day? I think that's cool technology. I think, but again, first generation. Never get involved in the first generation. I'm just happy to see that we're moving there. All right, let's see what else is trending. Jenna Jameson is trending today. Jenna Jameson, porn star, like I guess. What is she known for? She's known for being nuts. She's a little crazy. She's kind of a wackadoo. She's not all right. Now she's definitely not all right. It seems Jenna Jameson is unable to walk. She has Guillain-Barré syndrome. It says here, Jenna Jameson has offered an update on a medical condition that has her hospitalized in Hawaii. The former adult film star posted on her verified Instagram Monday that she has gotten some answers about her diagnosis. Quoting her now, "I'm dealing with a little syndrome called Guillain-Barré syndrome. So I'm working through that," she said in a video. "And I just wanted to let you all know that I see all your DMs and I appreciate it so much." Over the weekend, her partner, Lior Bitten, posted a video on Jameson's account explaining that she was undergoing testing after throwing up a great deal for several weeks. A trip to the hospital and a CT scan didn't reveal anything, and she was sent home. But according to Bitten, her condition worsened. Quoting now, "Then she came back home and she couldn't carry herself. Her muscles in her legs were very weak, so she wasn't able to walk to the bathroom. He said he was having to carry her everywhere." In her Instagram post, Jameson addressed speculation that getting vaccinated may have something to do with her health crisis. And she wants everybody to know that it has nothing to do with her being vaccinated, because I did not get vaccinated. Of course, Jenna Jameson didn't get vaccinated. She wrote in the caption of the video she posted, "This is not a reaction to the jab. Thank you for your concern." Jenna Jameson is okay, let's just table the discussion about her life choice, okay? Let's just focus on the stuff she has been known for, besides what she's known for, which is being a porn star. She's crazy. She is batshit nuts. She has been doing batshit nuts. First of all, she was in a relationship for a very long time with Tito Ortiz, the MMA fighter, a guy who I have had a number of encounters with, socialized with, hung out with, spent, interviewed him a dozen times, had dinner with him, have hung out with him in Richard Hunter, who was, used to be my partner there in the old MMA show we used to do. He was very close friends with Tito for a period of time. And here's what I can tell you about her partner, Tito, who I think, were they married? They may have been married. I think they have kids. Tito is one of the dumbest human beings on the planet. I mean, really dumb. Really, really dumb, but emboldened because he's a tough guy, I'll kick anybody's ass who calls me dumb, but spectacularly stupid. I mean, if you've ever heard him speak, he doesn't even seem to understand English. He doesn't seem to be able to form words properly. He's just not a bright guy. So when Jenna Jameson hooked up with him, it was like, oh my God, these two people, these two train wrecks are going to produce children. The next generation of train wreck adult is coming from the Tito Ortiz. That's unfair. Their kids, you know what? Their kids could have, right? Sins of the father, sins of the mother. And I don't even really know what sins we're talking about. I'm just saying that Tito has struck me as someone who is wonderfully dumb. And Jenna Jameson has also struck me as being someone who is wonderfully dumb. She's a drug addict. She's crazy. They used to get into fights because that's what dumb people do, where they just knock each other around. He'd been arrested for domestic battery. And then, it turns out there's a video in the house and you see that, yeah, he knocked her around, but oh my God, was she atrociously behaved. She was just even worse. I don't know. So, hey, Jenna Jameson, that's my hot take on you. You are a train wreck individual. I wish these diseases on no one. I hope you get better and move on with your train wreck life doing crazy ass train wreck things. That's why Jenna Jameson is trending today. She's nuts. She was so pretty though, back in the day. Oh my God. She was like, wasn't she like the first porn star to come out where people were like, she's too pretty to do porn. Girls that look like her don't do porn. That's not, she's too pretty. Because porn stars, I seem to remember, especially if you look at any of the adult film stars of the first wave of adult film stars, which, stuff that, was happening when most of us were children or not even born yet. I'm talking about, yesterday we talked about Linda Lovelace. You ever seen Linda Lovelace? Fine looking, normal woman. But you're like, porn star? Really? She's sick. So I guess in the early days of adult film, it was really just, all right, any girls willing to do this? They couldn't be too picky, right? It's like, who we got? Anybody willing? And, so you would take all comers. Oh, no pun intended. But then with like VHS and then the explosion of digital distribution for, adult films and porno and all that, then we started widening the net. Then it started to be a thing where there was money to be made. And now, now it's like, I hear tell that like the adult film girls that are doing it are just all smoke show 10s. They're just all gorgeous. And I believe that maybe Jenna Jameson was one of the very first who men actually looked at and went, whoa, okay, she doesn't have any unsightly scars. She doesn't have any any weird thing. She looks like Miss America and she's doing porn. She looks like a movie star. She looks like Pam Anderson and she's doing porn. All right, that's my Jenna Jameson take. I struggled for a take there, but I think I got one that was all right. Pokemon and LAPD were trending earlier this morning. Why? Well, because this story comes a couple of years ago. We didn't see it a couple of years ago, but now it's being rehashed. I think because they're going to court for this. Here's the story on this. Let's see. Oh, I don't actually have the full story. Do I need to click on this? 2 Los Angeles police officers were fired for ignoring a robbery call so that they could play Pokemon. The investigation reveals that Louis Lozano and Eric Mitchell heard the call of a robbery in progress, but ignored it in favor of pursuing a nearby Snorlax. I don't know what that means, but I don't know much about Pokemon. I just know that you play it on your phone and it shows you out in real world where certain things are hiding, and you walk there with your phone and you capture them or something. They're not, you know what I mean? If you look at your phone, you can see them. And so you walk up to someone at a bus stop and the person at the bus stop has no idea that they're sitting next to a goblin or something. And then you stand there and you just click it and then you capture that goblin and then you just move on. These cops ignored a robbery call because they were busy trying to catch a Snorlax. I don't even know what a Snorlax, cool name though. That's a cool name. Snorlax is a cool name. In the world of Pokemon, is a Snorlax something that you might jeopardize your career for? Is a Snorlax a particularly difficult Pokemon? If that's even what they're called. Is the game called Pokemon? Pugs, you don't know anything about this. No, I don't. I do not know anything about Pokemon. I'm proud to say. So there you go. That's why Los Angeles police are trending, because these 2 guys, they were fired in 2017, but it looks like they've, maybe an appeal or something went down today where they said, yeah, no, still, that's just not, I don't care if you're sorry. You have proven that you cannot be a real cop. April Michelle, what do you mean? Nope. What do you mean? Nope. They're not hard. They're not Snorlax is not a particularly difficult, Pokemon to capture. I don't know. Elvis Costello is trending. Elvis Costello, someone that I like. Some Elvis Costello has so far made the cut. I talk about how I try to introduce my son to music that isn't Rafi and isn't when he was very little. We used to listen to all kinds of stuff. I didn't want his brain turning to musical mush by being forced to listen to, the Boogaloos or whatever. And so I picked certain things, and some early Elvis Costello was some of the first stuff that I introduced to my kid. Pump It Up, loves that. Radio, loves that. Now we'll find ourselves in the car, and he'll be mushing through my my Spotify. And just a couple of months back, I was pretty because I like to see what he stops on. I say, here, I give him this. Don't turn off this list. You have to choose from this list and just go through it. And so he'll just track through certain songs. And he stopped on watching the Detectives by Elvis Costello. And he's like, this is a good song. I go, I love it. All right. My kid has great taste. So why is Elvis Costello trending? Well, because a song that doesn't make my Spotify list, but certainly one of his more recognizable tunes, Oliver's Army, is being Elvis Costello. Now, typically this happens against the will of the artist, but Elvis Costello is urging radio stations to stop playing Oliver's Army. The 1979 track has attracted criticism due to its use of the N-word. This is a bit disingenuous. This is one of those situations where context matters, where simple use of the N-word is, first of all, it's ugly when it's used as a pejorative. It's ugly when it's used to, subjugate a group of people as it had been used in this country and around the world towards black people. But what if the word itself is not being used in that way? What if the word is being used to describe? What if the word is just being said, but not directed at any one group? Context. Now, I'm not saying that that's the situation here, but Elvis Costello, whose song Oliver's Army does include the N-word, again, we'll get to the context, does include the N-word, is something that he has found so troublesome over the past few years that he is just reaching out now, Elvis Costello, to radio stations, to all of those. Stop playing it. He's saying, look, stop playing it. I'm not playing it anymore on tour. I don't want to hear it. And I think, honestly, it's because he's tired of explaining context. He's tired of saying, yeah, but see, that's not me using it in a racist way. That is not, you have to understand why and how I'm using it. So let's get into this. Let's find out exactly what this is all about. Elvis Costello says that he is going to stop playing his controversial song, Oliver's Army, and has urged radio stations to also stop playing it. Oh my goodness. What happened to the story? Why is this story not coming up? Hold on. Folks, I apologize. Apparently this page closed out while I was sitting here and here it is. Okay. Elvis Costello says that he is going to stop playing his controversial song Oliver's Army live and urged radio stations to also stop playing it. The 1979 track was written. See, here's what it's written about. And again, this is where the context comes in. It just disappeared. It just disappeared again. What the fudge? All right, we'll get it. We'll get it. Hold on. Okay. Folks, I do apologize. Just bear with me here for a second. It's one of those deals where it lets you see the story for like a second, and then it takes it away from you and tells you to... There it is. Okay. Elvis Costello says that he is going to stop playing his controversial song Oliver's Army live and urged radio stations to stop playing it. The 1979 track was written about the Troubles in Northern Ireland. Now, the Troubles, in quotes, Troubles, is not like, oh, there's troubles, there's trouble there. No, the Troubles is the term that has been applied to describe a period of time in Northern Ireland when the Irish Republican Army had targeted the Protestant loyalists. They're trying independence. Look, I don't have time to explain the Troubles to you, but it's a fascinating piece of Irish history if you're interested in it. Now, the 1979 track was written about the Troubles in Northern Ireland and has attracted criticism due to the use of the N-word. In the song, Costello sings, "Only takes one itchy trigger, one more widow, one less white N-word." Rhymes with trigger, okay? Now, the context of this isn't the way it's used to subjugate black people, okay? That's not it. In Ireland, it was the Irish were called that. Doesn't matter what your skin color is, most Irish people are white. Yeah. But the Brits, the loyalists, the Protestants, the Orangemen saw Catholic independent Irishmen as the ends of Europe. They were called that. They were called, look at that N over there. And they'd be pointing to a white guy, right? It's just the way that word was used. So that is the context here. He is talking about people like himself who are called. Now, I know here we more commonly understand that word to mean something, that is ugly and something that is designed to make black people, black Americans, or even elsewhere in the world, but black Americans less than, right? It's an ugly word, and that's why we don't use it here. But he is an Irishman who is singing. I mean, he's English, but his heritage is Irish. He is singing it from the standpoint of somebody who has been called that by the British loyalists, by the Protestants, by the Orangemen. So it's not necessarily the same thing. It's not like he's saying, and again, it's about context. He's making a social statement as an artist, as a poet, as somebody who is writing about the world around him. Oliver's Army Live, let's see, the 79 track was written about the Troubles in Northern Ireland and has attracted criticism due to the use of the N-word. In the song, Costello sings, only takes one itchy trigger, one more widow, one less white, N-word. In an interview, Costello defended writing the song, calling the term a historical fact, but said that he is set to stop performing it so he doesn't get criticized for, quote, something I didn't intend. If I wrote that song today, maybe I'd think twice about it, he told The Telegraph. That's what my grandfather was called in the British Army. If you were in the British Army, there was an entire group of Irish soldiers within the British Army who were called the N Brigade. And they weren't black. They were white. They just happened to have been Irish. There is a famous line. Is it from the Commitments, the movie, the Irish movie, where it's about an Irish R&B soul band, and they're all Irish people, and they get criticized at some point. So you're playing black music or whatever. You're not black. And then the response is, what are you talking about? We're Irish. We're the ends of Europe. We've always been the ends. That's what they call it. So, I mean, this is about a different world. And of course, people today, maybe not just people here, maybe people everywhere, we don't take context for anything. We don't apply context to meaning. We don't apply it in our common sense. And all we're looking to do is to be triggered. We're all looking to be triggered by something and then get up on our moral high horse and virtue signal about how I will not stand for that. He's using the N-word. And basically, Elvis Costello is not saying that Oliver's Army is a bad song and he's not going to perform it live because he's embarrassed by it. What he's saying is, I am sick and tired of having to sit down and to explain to people the meaning of the song. If you don't understand it, if you don't know the historical facts that surround the song, if you don't understand what it is that I'm trying to say, then fine. He's not saying it's all right to call one group of people this. He's saying it's wrong to call anybody this. And in fact, he is a part of a population who has been called this. And that's the point he's trying to make. Jeff Glenn, but the point of the insult was reducing white men to the equivalent of black men. On another note, so how do we feel about John Lennon's 1970? Women is the end of the world. I feel the exact same way, Jeff. I feel context is everything. I feel that you do not ban words. You do not ban ideas. You ban intention. Maybe we shouldn't ban anything. Maybe that's not right. Jeff, I'll leave it to you this way. It's complicated. It's complicated, and we have to all be willing to actually sit and go, okay, so you'll never play Oliver's Army, which is a good song. You'll never play Oliver's Army anymore because certain people want to go, Elvis Costello's a racist who hates black people. Stop it. And he's tired of defending himself against that. So that's why Elvis Costello is trending today. It's not what he meant. It's not like some, war punk white supremacist band who is chanting that as their chorus to some song about lynching. I mean, it's not the same thing. We have to understand that there is nuance. We have to understand that there is context to everything, but we don't do context anymore. We don't do nuance anymore. What we do is we give to our worst emotional outbursts. I am aggrieved. I can't believe I heard that word. I'm going on Twitter. I'm going to tell everybody how aggrieved I am. I don't know why. I mean, are you expecting people to go, oh, we're so sorry that you're aggrieved, little baby. I'm so sorry. Please lay down. Would you like some hot chocolate? What is this desire that we all have to be aggrieved? What is it? I understand the virtue signaling. I understand that that's an egotist point. That's a thing where, I am going to point out why this is wrong, and you're all going to listen to me because you're not smart enough to understand why this is wrong. So here I go. That's virtue. I understand that. And that's also gross. Stop it. You are not more virtuous than anyone else. Stop looking for opportunities to scoreboard the rest of us about our moral anchors. Stop it. All right, here's something that's trending. And there are a whole bunch of things that are trending in conjunction with this. And I almost didn't want to get into this today. I didn't want to talk about it. I was resisting it all day, but then there is so little to talk about that I went, all right, you got me. It's another one of these Barstool lists. Barstool, that meathead sports platform that is just taking over the sports world. God love them. They're geniuses. I have nothing but admiration for what Barstool has done in the digital space. I say that, it's like there was Sports Illustrated. Sports Illustrated was the thing. It was the epicenter for sports. If Sports Illustrated reported it, it would be true. Then along came a thing called ESPN. And ESPN became the ground zero for everything sports bringing. It's like, oh, it's Sports Illustrated. What are you, old? Well, the thing that's taken down ESPN is Barstool. Barstool Sports in the digital world is as big as ESPN, is as big as Sports Illustrated. And for a generation of sports fans who are, typically between the age of 10. No, it's a little bit older than that. But if you're like a 15-year-old kid, you're not watching SportsCenter the way we did. What you're doing is you're watching stuff from Barstool. If you're a 20-year-old frat bro, right? That's it. You don't watch ESPN. You're watching Barstool. Barstool has done an amazing job at sort of building this new millennial sort of sports platform. And they're the biggest and they're the baddest and they are huge. And God bless them. I wish I'd have thought about it. I wish that I had been involved in that, but I'm not. However, my problem with Barstool is that maybe I just don't like 20-year-old frat bros. Maybe that's it. The whole vibe of the thing is just so infantile. It's so immature. It is so meathead. There are a couple of people involved in Barstool who I think are legit talents, who are really, Big Cat. Big Barstool Big Cat is a real, that is an entertaining guy. That is a smart guy. That is a conscientious guy. He is sort of the outlier of all of the big name Barstool people. But for the most part, I don't like Barstool, and I don't like Barstool because they do stuff like this. They put out a power ranking, and they do this all the time. And God love them. That's what they're about. They try to get clicks. They try to get shares. But everything that they put out is designed as a troll. And unfortunately, most people don't understand that it's a troll. Remember, we did this a couple of weeks ago, and I leaned heavy into it. And it was the greatest women singers of all time. And they had like Jessica Simpson above Aretha Franklin. Remember, it was just ridiculous. Well, that's done by design. That's done so that you see that Jessica Simpson is the number 2 greatest singer of all time and that Aretha Franklin is number 3. That's done on purpose so that you react as going, I'm going to share this because I completely disagree with this. That's what they want you to do, and you're falling right into it. So I was hesitant to even talk about these power rankings, the top 10 male singers of all time. I was hesitant to get into this because I didn't want to play into their troll. But it's a slow day, and we're looking for things to talk about. So here we go. Barstool's top 10 male singers of all time. Are you ready for this? And again, remember, be smarter. Be smarter. This is a troll. This is designed to trigger you. Number 10, Bob Dylan. Bob Dylan makes the list of all the male Pavarotti, of all the male singers of all time. Bob Dylan makes this list. He's number 10. Number 9, Chase Hudson. I don't know who Chase Hudson is. It might be a kid who works at Barstool. I've seen a number of people in the comment section saying, who the hell is Chase Hudson? Who is Chase? Number 8, Stevie Wonder, which, great singer, tremendous creative, tremendously gifted musician, world class, up with Mozart, up there with the Stevie Wonder's musical compositions are going to be played for hundreds and hundreds of years in the future. Stevie Wonder is a genius and a good singer, a good singer. Is he one of the 10 greatest? I don't know. Ryan Cabrera comes in at number 7. Adam Lambert comes in at number 6. Otis Redding comes in at number. Otis Redding was great. Where's Jackie Wilson though? Where are the? Otis Redding comes in at number 5. Frank Sinatra comes in at number 4. And I am a Frank Sinatra devotee. I love Frank Sinatra, but Frank Sinatra himself would tell you that he is not a singer. He is a crooner. And there is a difference in what you're doing when you are singing and when you are crooning. Frank Sinatra wouldn't consider himself a singer, yet here we are. Barstool's got him at number 4. Number 3, here we go. The top 3 greatest singers of all time, according to this blatantly trollish post by Barstool. Jesse McCartney is number 3. Jesse McCartney is number 3. He's not even the right McCartney. I don't even think he's the best male singer with last name McCartney. Jesse McCartney is number 3. Michael Jackson is number 2. Michael Jackson is not a great singer. Michael Jackson is, again, an amazing performer. He is an amazing artist. He's a creator. He is terrific. He is I don't even know musician. I don't know he played piano, I guess, a little bit. But Michael Jackson is a super mega talent. But Michael Jackson is not one of the greatest singers. He's a unique singer. He's very high, but that doesn't mean you're a great. Range means you're great. Not singing everything in the same place. That's not an idea. Oh, God. Number 1 greatest singer of all time, according to this list, is Elvis Presley. Number 1, Elvis Presley. Number 2, Michael Jackson. Number 3, Jesse McCartney. Number 4, Frank Sinatra. Number 5, Otis Redding. Number 6, Adam Lambert. Number 7, Ryan Cabrera. Number 8, Stevie Wonder. Number 9, Chase Hudson. Number 10, Bob Dylan. That is the list designed to get people to freak out. And here I am, falling right into this troll, freaking out. Now, what else is trending around this? Thankfully, there's some smart people out there. Chris Cornell is trending. Chris Cornell, for my money, is the best singer, the best male vocalist that I have ever heard. Chris Cornell of Soundgarden and of Audioslave. Here is what I would suggest you do. I remember a year or so ago, I had this conversation with my son. So we went to YouTube and we found this YouTube video of Chris Cornell vocals of all of his hit songs with Audioslave and Soundgarden and all that, except all the music was stripped away. So it was just his raw vocals. Wow. I mean, that's something. That is something. If you ever really want to go, my God, does this person have pipes? Freddie Mercury. Where the hell is Freddie Mercury? Freddie Mercury is trending because they seem to have forgotten him. This is, all right, let's see what some of the people are suggesting here. George Michael. Wait, where is George? George Michael was a singer, boy. That guy could sing. He wasn't just wake me up before you go. He had a lot more. All right, so here we go. Let's try this one. This is something that someone put out and attached to it and then tweeted it. It is a companion piece. These are the 20 greatest. This seems to be Elton John, number 20, Paul McCartney, number 19, Rod Stewart. Rod Stewart is better. Andy Williams, number 17. Now, a lot of people probably don't know who Andy Williams is. Andy Williams is a guy who's been dead probably 20 years, but he was a great singer back in the time. Tom Jones. Tom Jones was a great singer. Tom Jones, people. What's new, pussycat? Whoa! Delilah. Tom Jones was cool. Michael Bublé at 15. Art Garfunkel. Yes, have you ever now Paul Simon, not so much, but have you ever listened to Art Garfunkel's vocal? He is beautiful. He has the voice of an angel. Okay, this one has Stevie Wonder at 13, Bing Crosby at 12. Now, of all of the old-timey guys, and again, these are not singers, these are crooners, but of all the old-timey guys, yeah, Bing Crosby should be probably at the top of the list, because Bing Crosby was the one that like people like Frank Sinatra and Andy Williams and all of those people went, boy, if I could only have his voice, if I could only have Bing Crosby at number 12. Elvis comes in at number 11. Here's one that was left off these people's lists. Have you ever heard of Luther Vandross? Are you kidding me? You've got Jesse McCartney and Ryan Cabrera on your list, but you don't even give a wink or a nod towards Luther Vandross? How about Marvin Gaye? You stupid, uneducated little bitches. Marvin Gaye is, Vandross is 9. Gaye is Vandross is 10. Gaye is 9. Al Green, Sam Cooke, Otis Redding. Okay, Otis made their list. Sinatra makes their list. Nat King Cole is number 4. And this one is Michael Jackson. So this one also gave Michael Jackson 3. George Michael is number 2 of all time on this more credible list put up by a music company. And number 1 is Freddie Mercury. All right, so there you go. I promised myself that I didn't want, unless there was an emergency and almost nothing to talk about, I was not going to fall into the Barstool trap and talk about this stupid troll. The purpose of those posts by Barstool is to get me to react like this and Damn it. They got me. Also trending, the New York Yankees. Now, we are in a baseball lockout, so there isn't a whole lot of baseball news that is trending, but the Yanks did something that's pretty cool, man. I got to tell you, this is very cool. The New York Yankees has named a woman their the first female manager in professional baseball. Now, I'm not talking about the Yankees big league club. I'm talking about a low A ball. Rachel Balkovec to manage within the Yankees system. Rachel Balkovec will become the first female manager in affiliated professional baseball tabbed by the Yankees to manage the low A Tampa Tarpons. That's right. The first female. The first female manager in Major League Baseball manages a team with a name that sounds like the Tampons. Yep, she's managing the Tarpons. She is. She is. Why are you setting her up for this? You can't put her in charge of a different team. You have to put her in charge of the Tampa Bay Tarpons. Really? My God. She deserves better. Actually, you know what? No, because she's not a shrieking violet. She's not a little daffodil. She knows what she's doing. She knows baseball, I'm sure. She can put up with your stupid meathead jokes about her managing the Tampa Tampons or whatever the hell you want to call it. Rachel Balkovec will become the first female manager in affiliated professional baseball tabbed by the Yankees to manage the low A Tampa Tarpons next season. She confirmed the news to MLB.com late Sunday night. Balkovec, 34, was serving as a hitting coach in the organization's rookie-level Florida Complex League. She has been a coach in professional baseball for 10 years, becoming the first female full-time hitting coach in an MLB org when she took on her previous position in 2019. She's quoted here as now saying, "I'm not the first woman to have a position in baseball, but I know this is a little different," Balkovec said when she was tabbed as the FCL team's hitting coach. "I'm a product of the women who have come before me in sports. If somebody thinks I'm a trailblazer, great, because hopefully that's creating an opportunity to think it's possible for others." Oh, isn't that a nice sentiment? Balkovec coached in the Australian Baseball League. I thought maybe they had farmed her out there just to keep her out of their hair, but no, it's because the COVID-19 pandemic canceled the 2020 season. And was named to the coaching staff for the 2021 All-Star Futures game at Coors Field prior to last season's Midsummer Classic. Balkovec has an extensive background in cutting-edge analytics, researching eye tracking for hitters and hip movement for pitchers at Driveline Baseball, a data-driven performance center in Washington State. She also has a pair of master's degree in the science of human movement. With the FCL Yankees, Balkovec worked closely with several of New York's top prospects, including the franchise's number 2 prospect and number 17 overall, center fielder Jason Dominguez. It doesn't, so we don't need to get in. "It's no secret, but Mr. Dominguez has been a fun one to work with," Balkovec said. When she and Dominguez were both named to the Futures game roster, "He is incredibly intelligent and his aptitude is high. I would consider him a leader among the group here. He's very young, obviously, but he carries himself in the right way. I've been able to work with him pretty closely, and he's just a toy to work with." A toy? I'm sorry, my man. Just a joy to work with as far as his mannerisms go. Holy crap, it's 1:38. We're going to actually make it through the show today. I thought we were going to have to go early. So congratulations. Rachel Balkovec is going to manage a professional baseball team in the Yankees organization. That's cool. That's great. All right, urine. Urine is trending today. Did you see this? People. I can't believe this sprung organically from the lunatic anti-vax QAnon quadrant of American society. This has got to be a plant. This has got to be something that somebody created. I think somebody sat around and went, "I bet we can get these people to drink their own urine. I bet we can." Drinking urine is now something that drinking their own urine, I hope, because, drinking someone else's urine is disgusting. I can't believe drinking. First it was like horse deworm. No, it was bleach. It was something else. Then it became like horse dewormer, anything but the stuff that doctors made, anything but the stuff that scientists created specifically to battle COVID-19. Anything but that seems to be what they're willing to embrace. They've done all of this. Now it's drinking urine. And there are people, oh God. They're drinking urine. They're drinking urine. They are drinking urine. I don't know. I thought that it is going around now in those circles, and people are saying, you got to do this. This is the absolute most healthy way to fight the COVID infection. If you drink your own urine every day, you'll never get the COVID. So I got to believe. Now, not a lot of people. I know some crazy people who are over on that side. I know some, but I don't know anybody who's crazy enough to drink their own urine. I would like to think that, some of my anti-vax friends and some of my MAGA friends and some of my friends who are over, on the fun side of politics, if you might say, I do not believe that any of them are dumb enough to drink their own urine, but there are videos circling. There are videos going around of people drinking their own urine and then talking about how safe it is. So, man, whatever. You keep that shit away from me. Whatever. All right, so there you go. So that's a thing. If you want to drink your own urine, that's fine. Back on the old show, we had a producer named Bobby. Bobby Garza. I miss Bobby. Bobby was such a wonderful soul. What a good dude. I'm talking like he's dead. He ain't dead. He's just in Vegas, which will kill the soul. But, you can still actually live. Your physical body goes on. Bobby was broke, and he was complaining about money. And he was looking for side work. And, we didn't have any side work. I'm like, I don't have anything for you to do. And somehow it came up that Bobby was willing to do anything. That Bobby was like, I'll do anything, whatever. He goes, I just need some money. And I just said to him, I said, well, would you drink a cup of your own whiz for $50? And he looked at me and he said, I'd do it for 20. And I go, sold. I was willing to give him $50, but he talked to him, would you drink a cup of your own urine for $50? Dude, I'd do it for 20. Okay, here's $20. I was willing to give him 50, but he somehow, in the heat of the moment, wasn't thinking, and he talked himself down to 20. And there he was. He was he drank a cup of his own urine right there on the radio, right in front of us. I went into now we knew it wasn't dangerous. It's not dangerous. It's as Byron points out in the chat room, it's sterile. And he says, and I like the taste, says Byron. Okay, hey man, if that's your thing. So we knew it wasn't going to kill him, especially since it was we negotiated just like a little Dixie, like half a Dixie cup, of his own. Oh God. But it was disgusting. I went into a gagging sort of fit that was just epic. And we were told after that segment aired that it could never air again. I don't know why. Why couldn't that air again? Man, you do that on YouTube today, it gets like a couple 100 million hits. That thing's popular. You do, although apparently not. You do it today because you got people doing it willingly as a cure for COVID. Ay. So yeah, I don't know what ever happened with that bit. I think it was never cut as a best of because we were told that it could never be played again. And I don't think I had the forethought to go, Nate, cut it anyway. Cut it, keep it. We're going to put it on the side. We're going to keep that. So it's don't even know what happens to it. It's just gone. Whatever that tape was, it's probably been erased. Let's see here. Hulk Hogan is trending. Hulk Hogan is trending. I love Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan is one of the most kind of a train wreck guy, kind of, oh, brother, kind of fun. Certainly if you grew up when I grew up, he's fun. He's not anyone that I would take serious life advice from. He's not, he's kind of a clown, but that's all right. I mean, look at the way what do you mean Hulk Hogan? Hulk Hogan's the goat of wrestling. What do you mean he's a clown? Look at how he dresses. That's what I mean. He's not all that off from what a traditional clown might look like. Please stop it. So Hulk Hogan is trending because, Hogan's, Florida man. He's a Florida guy. He's a Trump guy. He's an anti-vaxxer, of course, which is so bizarre. It's so bizarre. He's one of these guys that won't take the vax because of health concerns. Meanwhile, he has been blasting steroids into his system for 50 years. The selective concern over what you put. I'm all natural, man. Yeah, except for all of those. You are not natural, Hulk. I don't care how many salads you are not all natural. I love you, Hulkster. I'm a fan. But please, stop it. So Hulk is trending because the whole world is criticizing him because he has a hot take. That is... Hulk Hogan is trending because his hot take says that Betty White and Sidney Poitier were both vaccinated, and that's why they're dead. Hulk Hogan thinks, all right, here's the tweet. 100%, brother. Betty and Sidney were both jabbed. They're dropping like flies, brother. This will never, but they will never say it. 100%, brother. Betty and Sidney were jabbed. They're dropping like flies, brother, but they'll never say it. Betty White was 99 years old and Sidney Poitier was 95. He knows better. He knows better. He's just been dealing with like wrestling fans for so long that he just... Yes, Hulk. It is the vax that killed Betty White at 99 years old. Come on, man. Come on, gang. What are we doing here? All right. Some people had gay sex at the Parthenon in Greece, and now the Greek government is freaking out because they don't think that's a good representation for the Parthenon. But let's be honest, anal sex is called going Greek for a reason. So, let's stop that. So there's apparently a gay porn floating around where two dudes are having sex at the Parthenon. There's a sad story about a dad who died walking home in the blizzard in Virginia. We don't need to talk about that. Madison Cawthorn and Rachel Maddow are going at it. Madison Cawthorn is and Rachel Maddow is, it's like, don't really want to talk about this. But here's what's happening. So Madison Cawthorn is on social media saying that Rachel Maddow is afraid to debate him. It's like, this is what you project. He would never do a debate. Well, I think he would, because maybe there's just a lack of self-awareness there. But look, I'm no great lover of Rachel Maddow any more than I'm a great lover of Madison Cawthorn. But here's what I know. Rachel Maddow. All right, so here, I pulled this up. Rachel Maddow holds a bachelor's degree in public policy from Stanford and a doctorate in political science from Oxford. She is a John Gardner Fellow. She is a John Gardner Fellow and a Rhodes Scholar. Madison Cawthorn is a guy who punches trees. Have you seen those videos of him punching trees from his wheels? It's like, don't do this. Come on. First of all, it's not going to be a real debate because Madison Cawthorn probably doesn't know. Cawthorn attended Patrick Henry College studying political science, but earned mostly D grades and dropped out. He said his grades were low primarily because of his injuries that he had inferred when he lost the use of his legs. Because his injuries had interfered with his ability to learn. Cawthorn said in a deposition, suffering from a brain injury after the accident, definitely, I think it slowed my brain down a little bit. Yeah, I think so too, Madison. Go punch some trees, dude. It made me a bit less intelligent. Check. And the pain also made reading and studying very difficult. This is him saying it. He also said he withdrew from college due to heartbreak after his fiance broke up with him. It's so ridiculous. I don't want to see. I find Rachel Maddow to be so pretentiously preachy. I just, for all the same reasons that I can't stand Tucker Carlson, I just cringe with Rachel Maddow as well. I don't think she's as bad as Tucker. Don't get me wrong, but I ain't choosing to watch or listen to either one of them. But I do understand completely. Tucker Carlson's a very smart guy. Rachel Maddow is a very smart woman. Madison Cawthorn is not. Madison Cawthorn is not up for a debate with either Tucker Carlson or Rachel Maddow. So there you go. So that's happening there. Anything else? I'll tell you what, let's jump in. Let's see if anything has been trending since we signed on. I don't know. Hulk Hogan is trending still towards the top. Look at that. Oh, brother. Betty White was killed by the vaccine. No, dude, she was 99 years old. We'd been on death watch for Betty White for a couple of years. Let's see here. Let's see if anything new is happening. And I'll show you the things we won't talk about. Rand Paul is trending number 1. I don't give a shit about that. Portfolio Day is trending. Creatives on the hunt for work share their portfolio. You see, what am I going to do with that? I can't talk about that. Nigeria versus Egypt. You want to get into some shit talk about Nigeria versus Egypt in a soccer match? No. Oh, this is kind of interesting. I saw this trending earlier, and I didn't know how to turn it into a conversation for the purposes of the high noon show. But long drive is trending. Murph and Andy, good for them. Murph and Andy are a couple of They're a radio show out of Des Moines, Iowa, and they have been trending in the top 5 on Twitter all day long, which is rare for a show, that isn't like on a higher platform. But basically what they're asking is, what's the worst drive in America of at least 3 hours or more? What is the worst drive in America of at least 3 hours or more? I know there's some really bad drives here in Texas, and I've been fortunate enough to not have to experience them. Although I can tell you, when we drove to San Antonio from Dallas, that seemed like that never ended. That was pretty uneventful. That was a lot of, are we there yet? Are we there yet? Oh my God, is this awful? But I'd say for my money, the worst drive that I've had to do on a number of occasions, not worst, I guess, long drive. It's not worst like it's treacherous or anything like that. I mean, the worst drive that I've ever been on is when I rented a car in Ireland and I had to drive the Ring of Kerry, which are the cliffs that hang over the ocean, and you drive around. It's beautiful. It's scenic, but I'm driving a rental car. I'm driving on the opposite side of the road because they drive on the opposite side of the road there. And it's one of those deals where you look off to your right and it's just a cliff drop. And there are people who live and drive these roads all the time, and they're just whizzing around and drive. That was not fun. I could not enjoy it. My ex-wife, Sloan, she enjoyed it. She got to look out the window. She got to see the mountain goats on the rocks. She got to see all that stuff. Meanwhile, I'm just white knuckling it. I'm like, oh God, oh Jesus. Constantly worried that I'm going to forget what side of the road I'm supposed to be on because it feels so unnatural. When you are driving on the opposite side of the road, that feels so unnatural. And if you stop concentrating at any moment, you can just, Matthew Broderick, which is what Matthew Broderick did. Matthew Broderick killed a couple of people in Ireland because he drifted into the right, drifted into driving like an American, and killed some people head on. Matthew Broderick's a murderer. No, he's not. It's a terrible, terrible accident. He didn't murder those people. It was a terrible, tragic accident. Why are you defending Matthew Broderick? Well, because he's Ferris Bueller, for one, and secondly, because I've been there. I've been there, and I've been on that side of the road. It's hard to do. Apparently, I can take away that I'm better than Matthew Broderick because I was able to stay on my side of the road. I'm just saying that I understand how you could let your mind drift, and as an American who's been driving in America for a number of times, you might simply find yourself in the wrong lane. Long drive. Chicago to St. Louis. Chicago to St. Louis is absolutely awful. You get 20 miles outside of Chicago and it just becomes an ashtray. It just becomes Oklahoma. There are parts of Oklahoma, like I drove from Tulsa to Dallas once, and some absolutely brutal. Yeah, Dustin says between St. Louis and Chicago is a pretty terrible drive. Yeah, it is. No scenery. It's just awful. Oklahoma has been bad too. Oklahoma is the state that I always describe as a giant ashtray. It's America's ashtray. It's just nothing to see here, folks. I mean, that's why they gave it to the Indians. They were like, let's see, we got to put all the Indians somewhere. Let's find the absolute worst possible place that we could stick an entire population of people. There are parts of, I'm sure there are parts of Oklahoma that are beautiful. I'm sure they are. I'm sure that you can find a lake region with trees, but for the most part, there's a lot of Oklahoma. Yeah, Rob Barr says Nebraska is bad. I've heard that. Nebraska is the worst. I understand driving from Chicago. And this is, by the way, a lot of these were from people, because remember Murph and Andy, this Murph and Andy show, they're from Des Moines. So a lot of their frame of reference of their fans, who were the initial people posting on this thread, are all, people coming from the Midwest. So boy, Chicago to Denver, my friend Tom kept posting about that. He's like, Tom Frankowitz, original producer of the Pugs and Kelly show back when we were in Chicago. Tom was like, oh my God. What was Tom's joke that he posted? He said, Iowa, you're in for the worst 4-hour drive of your life. Nebraska, hold my beer. So it's like one of those deals. It's like you go through Iowa and it's like, woo, could we possibly eat all this corn? Is this really all there is in this entire state? Just corn. This is corn upon corn upon corn for 4 hours, for 300 miles. Corn. And then you get to Nebraska, and apparently it's even worse just driving through Nebraska. Yeah, Adam points out. Yeah, as soon as we figured out that there was some oil in some of that land that we had given to the Indians, then we took it back. Good point, Adam. So long drive is trending. Let's see here. Reese Witherspoon is trending. Why is little Reese trending? Oh, because she tweeted something. Reese Witherspoon tweeted something, and it's getting... In the near future, every person will have a parallel digital identity. Avatars, crypto wallets, digital goods will be the norm. Are you planning for this? Shut up, Reese. I don't know. I don't need this from Reese Witherspoon. In the near future, every person will have a partial digital identity. Avatars, crypto wallets, digital goods will be the norm. Are you planning for this? That's why Reese Witherspoon is trending. There have been 1,500 retweets of her thing in the last hour. So cool. Bonnaroo is trending. Bonnaroo. Oh, what are we doing these again? Are we doing the big concerts? All right, yeah, get back to normal, man. I'm all vaxxed up. I'm all boosted up. I'm ready to get back to normal. I am ready. It's clear to me that should I get the COVID, that I won't have any terrible situation because I do have the vax. I am all vaxxed up. If you're someone who don't have it, God love you. Your body, your choice. Fine. Well, I just want you better be consistent with that though. When your 15-year-old pregnant daughter needs a little bit of, you know what I'm saying? Your body, your choice. Remember that. No wavering, no inconsistencies. Oh, what am I saying? That's all we are. All we are is just a fucking bag of inconsistencies with an attitude. That is what the average American is. Right, left, center, doesn't matter. We're just all a bunch of inconsistencies. Bonnaroo is coming back, making its return to Manchester, Tennessee. 4 days of music from acts like Griffin. I don't know who Griffin. J. Cole, The Chicks, Tool, Flume, 21 Savage, Stevie Nicks. Let's throw Stevie Nicks in there. Machine Gun Kelly and Roddy Ricch. All right, so those are the big names. All right, let's see how old I am. Ready? Griffin. No clue. No clue who Griffin is. J. Cole. Know who that is. The Chicks. Know who that is. Tool. Know who that is. Flume. No idea. 21 Savage. Know who that is. Stevie Nicks. Know who that is. Machine Gun Kelly. Know who that is. And Roddy Ricch. I don't know Roddy Ricch. There you go. So what do I know? I know about 60% of the people who are going to be playing at Bonnaroo. Guess I won't be going to Bonnaroo this year. I am not good at this is not Pugs. You're so old. You just you don't know how to have fun anymore. No, when I was young, when I was young, I didn't like going to festivals. I didn't like going to concerts and sitting on the. Actually, my first few concerts where I did sit on the lawn, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed being out there with the great unwashed and the masses and all that kind of stuff, and it was fun, and it was, and you enjoy it because it's an experience. However, very shortly after that, I began working in radio and I started to get special treatment at concerts. And let me tell you, I would way rather be backstage or way rather be in a box or at the worst in like one of the first 10 rows of the pavilion. That's the way I want to see a concert. I don't want to camp in mud. I don't want to dig a hole to poop in. I want to be, my big complaint about the old World Music Theater, which was the music theater where I used to see concerts in Chicago. My big complaint when I worked at the Loop and at Q101 and we get tickets for concerts there was that the bathroom wasn't close enough to the skybox. It's such a softie. I'm such a concert bitch. Although I don't know. I can't remember the last concert I went to. I really can't. That's weird. I have not been to a concert in a very long time. Not because I don't enjoy concerts. I do. I certainly since the pandemic, I haven't been to a concert. I haven't been to bars. I've been to one bar in the last 2 years. That is not entirely true. I've probably been to, in the last 2 years, I've probably been to 10 bars over the course of the last 10 years. And a number of those were just because I was traveling and, you stop to eat something. So I would stop in like a Applebee's or something, a couple months ago, I went out for drinks with my friend, Dr. Schwartz. We had drinks. We went up to the Ivy, which is a tavern here in the area. But I haven't been to a bar since then. I haven't been to a bar. I haven't been in the months okay, here's interesting. In the 6-7 months that I have been back in Dallas, I have been to 1, 2, 3. I've been to 4 restaurants. 4 restaurants in 2 bars. And 2 of those bars were in those restaurants that I was at. So yeah, I'm ready to get back out there. Another thing. This isn't like, why are you so afraid of the pandemic? It's not about that. It's more about I don't have money. I'm not going to go out and spend money on a $5 beer. When I'm trying to do. We're not getting paid. I'm not getting paid to do this. I'm grinding this out. This is something that we're trying to build upon. So I can't be frivolous with my money. When I do have a little bit of money, I will go with my son. I will go with my 12-year-old somewhere and we'll get some chicken wings and maybe I'll have a beer. So that's it. But I ain't going out with my butt. Man, there was a time years ago when, just the ridiculous amount of money that I would spend in bars on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We're talking hundreds of dollars a weekend. Just yeah, sure, I'll have something to eat. Yeah, sure, please, another round. Hey, get that table over there around on me. It's just ridiculous amount of money that I used to spend as a stupid kid. Let's see here. Anything else? Nah, that's it. All right, we've made it to 2:00. Hey, we are going to come back tonight. We're going to do a Pillow Talk edition. We got James Parker with us. We're going to have a little bit of fun. We might even have E-Sunglasses joining us. That part is not concerned or confirmed, I should say. But we certainly part of the limits of Jay Williams. Okay, sorry. I just got you heard it. I just got a text from a friend. So I'm going to have to address that text later. Not a big deal. Everything's fine. Everything's fine on my end. Tonight at 9:00, we'll be back with the Pillow Talk edition. That's the second of 2 streams that we do here every day. You don't do it every day, Pugs. As a matter of fact, you haven't been doing Pillow Talk very much at all. I know. But we are going to get back into it. We are going to get back into doing it with regularity. It's difficult to do when I have my kid here. It's difficult to do when there's a national championship game on. It's difficult to do when I don't want to. It's difficult to do when I just simply don't really want to do it. But this one, you can count on this every day. High Noon will be done every day because I wake up every morning and I look forward to doing it. Today was a tough one. Today was a day when I walked in, I was like, ugh, oh my God. There is nothing to talk about. Nothing but divisive bullshit. And, it's funny because back in the beginning, I used to hate the concept that I would have to sit here and do this whole show by myself and just talk for 2 hours. Apparently, I'm able to do it. Apparently, that's something that I can do. Apparently, I'm a blowhard of epic proportions. Certainly a bigger blowhard than I ever gave myself credit for because here we are 2 hours and 3 minutes into this thing and I'm just blah, 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 blah. God bless you people for putting up with it. Slow day. Honestly, a slow day. And still, I was able to do this. I appreciate it. You know what we're going to do? I'm going to do a little backstage. So if you're still around, I'll go through some of the stuff that was in the chat room today that I wasn't paying attention to. So, oh my God, you know what? I told you guys that I went to see the Spider-Man movie, Spider-Man No Way Home, with my son over the weekend. It's great. It's so good. It is so good. It's one of the better. I mean, look, I've never walked out of a Marvel film and gone, that sucked. I mean, you just don't. That's just not, they're all entertaining. That's the whole point, right? But man, I walked out of Spider-Man No Way Home and I was like, that was really good. That was really clever. That was really inventive. The way they had all of the Spider-Men together the way they explained why Spider-Man is now portrayed by Tom Holland, but just a couple of years ago it was Andrew Garfield, and a couple of years before that it was Tobey Maguire. They had Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man in this one. They had Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man in this one. They had Tom Holland as Spider-Man in this one. And the way they explained it was that, yes, these are all Spider-Man and they all exist in different parallel universes. But there are just these different universes, and somehow a hole got opened up and all of the Spider-Men got sucked into it. And so now all the Spider-Men are like, what's your name? Peter Parker. What's your name? Peter Parker. What's your name? I'm Peter Parker. What? They're all like, how can you be? It was cool. It was great. I really enjoyed it. However, are there people that still don't know how to watch a Marvel movie? Like half of the audience. The credits are rolling. Dun, 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 dun. The credits are rolling. And like half the people in the movie star got up and were walking out. And then, my kid looks at me and he goes, what are they doing? Why are they leaving? Why aren't they staying for the credits? I don't know. Apparently they're not as big into Marvel film. And then you look around and you see the other people who know that you do not leave Marvel films until they bring the lights up. Because of course, Marvel films always has an extra scene. And then, the credits will go for about 3-4 minutes and then boom, the credits will disappear and it'll be a scene. Another scene from the movie that moves the story along. The final scene is always buried deep in the middle of the credits. And I always get, whenever I see people just walking out of a Marvel film, I'm like, hey, you guys know it's not over, right? You guys know that like probably the most important scene that's going to set up the next movie is coming. Right after, right after the list of stuntmen who were, in this. They're gonna show another scene. They're gonna go. And I'm always amazed. People don't know. All right, quick break. I'm gonna let the music play, and then I'll come back and we'll do. I'll address Tom. Tom is such a smart guy. My favorite superhero movie. Look at that. Really, No Way Home is his favorite. It's up there, man. It's good. I love Ragnarok. I love Captain Marvel. I like the original Iron Man. We'll talk about it. All right, so I'll be right back. I got to run to the bathroom.
I have found a different way, so baffling to some. I have got an old guitar, that is all I need. I don't need no 401. I don't have the greed. Down the road I'll travel, far from the comfort nest. I am on a never-ending quest. Tomorrow is another day, the best is yet to come. I have found a different way, so baffling to some. I can smile a little now, things are going good. I always had to be on guard, that is understood. Down the road I'll travel, far from the comfort nest. I am on a never-ending quest. I am on a never-ending quest.
we're back. Okay. Let me get comfortable. I wasn't picking my butt. It's my blanket. I was sitting on my blanket. Had to make it comfortable. All right, let's see here. Let's venture into the chat room and see what we've all been talking about today. We'll work our way backwards. Tom Bella, are you saying that Spider-Man No Way Home is your favorite of the superhero movies? Now, Tom's got a bunch of kids, so he's probably seen them all. I don't know. I don't know if it's. Look, I think Ragnarok is the coolest. I think Captain Marvel is one of my favorites because it takes place in the 90s, and the best soundtrack is Captain Marvel. That soundtrack, it's all Riot Girl stuff. It's all 90s, L7, Babes in Toyland, Courtney Love. It's all really cool music that you don't necessarily hear a lot. So I remember the music that they played in Captain Marvel. I was like, oh, I haven't heard this song in years. That's very cool. So I really enjoy Captain Marvel. I also like Brie Larson. I think she's fun. And I also like Samuel L. Jackson. And he was a main player in Captain Marvel. And it's the true origin story. So I like Captain Marvel. It's the origin story of the Avengers. It's that's where it all began. You get to see in Captain Marvel, you get Nick Fury, Samuel L. Jackson, when he had both eyes. You learn how he lost his eye. The eye patch that he always got. We see him. He's just like an FBI agent. He's never seen anything freaky before. He's not now. Whenever we see, Nick Fury in an Avenger movie or whatever, dude's seen it all. Dude has been around it for years. But I like the origin story of Captain Marvel, where he's just like a regular FBI agent, or I guess, well, whatever he is, but he hasn't seen all the crazy shit that he has seen now, and he still has his eye, and he dresses differently. Now he dresses like the Matrix. Now he dresses like Morpheus. But back then he wore a shirt and a tie, and anyway, I like that. And it shows you where the Avengers initiative came from. Did you know that Captain America, the first Avenger? No, Captain Marvel is the first Avenger. You see at the end of Captain Marvel where Nick Fury is sitting after all the events of the movie Captain Marvel. Nick Fury is sitting at his little computer, and he's writing up this idea of finding these other people who are superheroes and bringing them all together so that they could fight these extraterrestrial threats or whatever the hell they are, bad guys. And he's trying to think of a name for it. And he looks at a picture of Captain Marvel before she was Captain Marvel, when she was an American Air Force pilot, Carol Danvers. And he looks at the picture of Carol Danvers as a pilot standing next to her plane. And it says right there, how the pilots have their names underneath their cockpits? It says Captain Carol Avenger Danvers. And he goes and he looks at his screen and he writes Avenger Initiative. So don't tell me Captain Marvel is the first Avenger. It's don't tell me Captain America is Captain America during the events of Captain Marvel was still frozen in a block of ice somewhere underneath the Arctic. They didn't even know he was a thing. So that's why I like Captain Marvel, as it seems to be the origin story for the whole Avenger thing. Ragnarok is great. The original Iron Man is great. Tom says, it's because Spider-Man is my favorite superhero, and this was such a great way to pull the movies together. That's why Tom says it's his favorite of the superhero movies. I am not, Spider-Man is not my favorite. I like Spider-Man a lot more now. I like him a lot more after seeing this movie on Saturday. But if I had to have like a pecking order of like my favorite guys, it would be like, See, first of all, I go by like strength. I go by like who's like my favorite superhero of all time. People are going to hate me for this. And it's not my fault that they haven't been able to get the franchise right, but it's Superman. I'm more of a DC guy. I like Superman. I like Batman. Okay, those are the two that I like. So Wonder Woman's fine, but I like what was the Snyder cut? I thought that was great of Justice League. I thought that was one of the best. I think that might be my favorite superhero film of all time. Justice League, the Snyder Cut, the one that's really, it introduces all of these people that we're going to see now, like Homelander, or not Homelander. Who is it? Is that who it is? I don't know. Whatever. I don't want to get that deep into this. But I didn't really enjoy, of the Marvel characters, I wasn't really a Spider-Man guy. I think that of the Marvel characters, I like Thor. We're talking about movies. I didn't read comic books, right? So I don't have like all these crazy backstories, but I love Thor. Thor's funny, man. Thor is just the most entertaining, which is, I think, why I love Ragnarok. I like Iron Man. How do you not like Iron Man? Iron Man's cool. Hulk, I could do without. Hulk is just like, ugh, really? So some alien hasn't. But as I was saying, I look at like the Marvel universe and like, well, who's the most powerful? And I think, you got, Hulk is definitely not the most powerful. The Hulk is strong and all that stuff, but please, Thor is a god. Thor is a god from another planet. Let's stop the discussion. Tony Stark, Iron Man, cool as all get out, but he's just a guy in a suit. He's just a rich guy in a suit. Thor is a god from another planet. Tony Stark is just a guy in a suit. Captain America, he's just a genetic lab created tough guy. That's, I don't know that. Thor is a god from another planet. So my favorite would be the strong ones. So it's Thor and Captain Marvel. I think Captain Marvel is the strongest of them all. I think that Captain Marvel could probably kill any of the Avengers if she really... look at her power base. It's God. Find out who Captain Marvel is. I don't think this is up for much of a debate. I think people are like, yep, she's got kind of godlike powers and she can do all kinds of stuff. She's got the alien thing going. She's got the earthbound thing going. I like Thor and I like Captain Marvel. I also like Iron Man. I find him entertaining. Spider-Man was never somebody that I really liked until this movie. And now, look at this. So here comes along the rail. Here comes Spider-Man. I like Spider-Man. Jeff Glenn says the last concert that he went to was in 2019, the Alan Parsons at Lone Star Park. The hell are you doing going to an Alan Parsons concert? What are you going to listen to? Eye in the Sky for 45 minutes? What is? I don't want to see. You won't tell me you got free tickets. Did you get free tickets or did you buy tickets to see Alan Parsons? And was it the whole project or was it just Alan Parsons? Was it just Albert says Superman, truth, justice, in the American way. I love Superman. I'm a DC guy. Superman is, I thought Man of Steel was good. The reboot that they did just a couple of years ago. And there's more Superman coming. I love Superman. He's a little bit corny. I think that's the problem. He is never, his whole thing needs to be reworked. There are aspects of his corniness that I appreciate, that I find endearing, but also, when they did him so wrong. They did Superman so wrong. When they put Superman against Batman and had Batman win, that's when I was like, you know what? Fuck you, DC. This is why Marvel is kicking your ass. There's absolutely nobody my son and I, if there was one thing that my son and I debate most, it's the Batman versus Superman thing, because I think they cheated. And my son argues that they didn't cheat. He just had a bat suit made out of kryptonite. And I'm like, yeah, but that's cheating. That is, come on. We said once, he goes, well, they found Superman's one vulnerability, kryptonite, and he went with it. And I'm like, yeah, okay. He's like a god from another planet, and they found the one thing that could stop him from being unstoppable. And I'm like, you know what stops Batman? He's like, what? I go, cancer, because he's just a normal guy in a suit. Stop it with the kryptonite. God, that's so weak. Albert, didn't Superman have a gay son? I don't know. Did he? I don't know. Let's see. Jeff says a friend took him to see Alan Parsons. It was great. Yeah, well, it's always great when you don't have to pay and a friend takes you. Why not? A good night out, good conversation, something to look at, some music that's familiar. Not a problem. I'm not judging. I just don't think I've ever met an Alan Parsons fan before. It's not. Look, hey man, I'm a Chicago Bulls fan. We've been using Alan Parsons music as our introduction for 30 years, so I'm down. But after boom 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 boom, 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 boom. After that, what are we doing here? What are we, what else do we got? I am the eye in the sky, looking at you. I can change. I mean, what are we doing? We're going to an Alan Parsons concert? Is there going to be alcohol? Yep. Are we going to be close to a bathroom? Sure. All right, I'll go. All right, why not? I'll go. I'll have fun. I'll go to anything. I'll go to anything. Oh, let's see here. What else do we have happening in the chat room? Okay. Sorry, I just don't know how to respond to some of this stuff. Byron, if I had $1 for every time I got you in the ice house. Got me where? You enjoyed the lawn at the World Music Theater because we were absolutely hammered, Tom says. Yeah, and, I mean, Tom knew me when I was just, when we were just friends, when we were just, regular civilians going to concerts. But I got into a business where concert tickets were always free. They were always hanging around, and they came with passes and stuff. So I've been ruined. I have been absolutely ruined. I can't enjoy a concert like a civilian anymore, even though I am just a civilian now. I still expect, to have catered food coming into the booth while we watch. It's terrible. It's terrible. I've been broken. Albert says, didn't they drop the Dixie in their name? Dixie Chicks. Yeah, they did. They did. I love Natalie Maine. I drank with Natalie Maine once, and I didn't know that I was. Well, I mean, I knew I was. Okay, so here's how it goes down. So Natalie Maine, she lives over here in over by the Lakewood Theater, or she used to. She used to have a big, beautiful house over there, and she would drink at this little bar. I won't give it up. I don't know. Actually, I don't think she still lives there. I'm not sure. But we went into this bar, and it was like I think it was Saturday night after a show. No, it wasn't even after a show. Because if it was after a show at the old Lakewood Theater, then that bar would have been crowded. But it was just like there was nothing going on. Maybe it was like a weeknight. I think it might have been a weeknight. We found ourselves over there. I think maybe we had done an appearance or something. So I don't know. But we walked into this bar. And I'm not going to say the name of the bar, but it's a cool bar. We walked in, it's a neighborhood bar, little neighborhood thing. And we walk in and we sit down and blah, blah. We were invited by the bartender because the bartender was a listener of the show. So I walk in and I'm like, hey man, we knew each other a little bit. And I sit down and there's like 2 people. There's a guy and a girl and they're sitting like 4 seats down. And he comes over to me and he goes, that's Natalie. I told you she hangs out here. Natalie Maine from the Dixie Chicks or the Chicks. And I'm like, oh wow, very cool. And we had a bunch of drinks and she was drinking, and then something came up spontaneously where our 2 groups started interacting, like somebody said something and it was like, yeah, fuck you. No, it was friendly. It was like, ha ha ha, it was something like that. And I remember we all moved down into one big group and we were doing shots together and we were drinking, and it was never mentioned who she was. It was never mentioned anything. But then after, the night was over, we were done. We went, we got in our car, we drove home, and I'm like, I just partied with Natalie Maine from the Dixie Chicks. She was just totally a normal chick in a bar. That was very cool. So and then after that, I'd never seen the Dixie Chicks before that. And then after that, I remember going to see them. I want to say it was at the American Airlines Center. Maybe it was. And they just blew my mind. That band is amazing. And then I watched the documentary Shut Up and Sing. And then I'm just like, you know what? I just love them even more now. I don't know about the rest of the chicks, but man, I freaking love Natalie Maine. I just have nothing but respect for her. She is such a cool, smart, normal, unaffected mega talent. She's really talented. All right. So there you go. What else do we have here? We're talking about bad drives. Iowa smells really bad too. That's what Sally Beller says. I don't know that Iowa smells bad. I'm going to take your word for it. There you go. Albert says that he's not a big fan of narcissistic Reese Witherspoon, which I don't know. Am I a fan of? I don't know. Am I a fan of Reese Witherspoon? I like that morning show. That show that's on Apple TV. She's good in that. although she's not like the reason I watch. I watch because of some other characters who are really cool. It's her and Jennifer Aniston and Steve Carell and Billy Crudup, I want to say. And the guy that was in The League. Remember the show The League? He's one of the... I don't have the name in my head, so I can't think of it. It's a good show, and Reese Witherspoon is in it, but she is kind of the most irritating of the characters in the morning show. The morning show is the morning show started out as a 1 hour. Remember, it's got a big cast of stars. It's Jennifer Aniston and Reese Witherspoon and Steve Carell are like the main three in it. And when it was originally the first season, it was supposed to be, if you squint, you could see it. It's the story of Matt Lauer getting kicked off the Today Show. So Steve Carell and Jennifer Aniston were like Katie Couric and Matt Lauer or whoever, Matt Lauer's, and they were like America's favorite and blah, blah, blah. And then somehow Steve Carell, the character in the morning show, gets Me Too'd for sleeping with somebody and it turns bad and blah, blah, blah. So suddenly he becomes like the worst person in America. He has to lose the show. He gets kicked up just like Matt Lauer, just totally disappears. One day he's like one of the most common and front and center popular culture news people in the country, and then the next day we haven't heard of him in 5 years. Matt Lauer, where's Matt Lauer been for 5 years? And that's basically who Steve Carell plays in this. He has to walk away from the show, his longtime partner Jennifer Aniston, and they give her a new partner because of course it's Me Too. They give her a feisty little young woman named Reese Witherspoon who's like 40. That's the one thing that I didn't get. I'm like, okay, Reese Witherspoon is not a young woman, and yet they're trying to portray her as like this young up and coming. I'm like, why not get like a 24-year-old actress? But Jennifer Aniston and Reese Witherspoon wanted to work together, so that's how they did it. And it's good. And now it's in season 2, or actually season 2 is already finished. I'm 2 episodes. I got 2 episodes left that I got to watch in season 2. But it's good. I enjoy it. It's about a show. It's about a show like the Today Show or Good Morning America or whatever, and about what goes on behind the scenes and the trouble with the network and all that kind of stuff. So it's interesting. So as far as Reese Witherspoon being a narcissist, I don't know. I don't really think much about Reese Witherspoon. She's take her or leave her. Let's see, what else do we have here? There's my man Byron talking about drinking his sterile urine. Don't do that, Byron. Don't drink your sterile. Jeff Glenn. I guess we were talking about the best singers, and Andy Williams came up, and Jeff Glenn wants to mention Paul Williams. Do you guys remember Paul Williams? Paul Williams is still alive. It's another documentary I saw a few years ago. Paul Williams probably, I don't know, what is his staying power? Is it Smokey and the Bandit? Right? He's like he's the little guy. He's the little guy in Smokey and the Bandit. We love our little guys in this country. We love our small. We love our young African-American men with kidney disorders, which keeps them small. We love them. That's your Websters and your Gary Colemans. And then we just like our, we also like our obnoxiously small white guys. That would be your Paul, your Paul Williams, your Danny DeVitos. Who else would fit into that? There's a lot of small people out there. Let's see here. What else do we have? Oh, is it a joke? Adam Marina says the sterile urine thing is a joke from the movie Dodgeball. Hey, I know Byron. I like Byron. I don't put anything past him. Let's see. What else do I have? Byron could drink his own pee and I'd still be okay with him. There's certain people who have paid their dues. He's one of them. Channel 9, will that be the end of the police bolo? On the lookout for white BMW? Yeah, that's, I guess, Channel 9's talking about that. We were talking about the car. The BMW's got a car that changes colors, but it doesn't really change colors. It actually just changes like 7 different shades of gray. Yeah, first generation technology. You never want it. Don't mess with the first generation. Adam Rainey, we were talking about Nick Saban. Says Saban is a bitch who can't make it in the NFL. He quit on his team. Well, I mean, yeah, that's I wouldn't go to the mats arguing that with you. I mean, certainly if you're a Miami Dolphins fan and he did that, he certainly did. He walked away, but he walked away for total control. And I think he didn't have total control in Miami, and I think that if Mark Davis, you have to understand these guys. See, this is like what's going on with Jim Harbaugh. These guys, once the competitive thing only goes so far. At some point, it becomes about not even goals but missions. Like Jim Harbaugh, for example, his mission was to turn around the football program. It took him forever. It took him a bunch of years, but certainly he made it to the college football playoffs. He beat Ohio State this year. I mean, it's not going to get any better for him there. There's Ohio State is going to dominate the Big Ten for years to come. It's not like, I mean, it's just all downhill. So now Jim Harbaugh, you know, they're saying that he's looking to jump into the NFL. He's looking to jump in. So, you know, a lot of people are saying that the teams that he's probably most likely to go to would be the Raiders, the Bears, or the Dolphins. The Dolphins owner has already said that he's not coming here. He said that yesterday. The Dolphins owner is a big booster of the University of Michigan, and he's an alumni of the University of Michigan. And his quote yesterday was, "I am not going to be the one who takes Jim Harbaugh out of Michigan." He doesn't want to do that. He has his ties to there are too big. He's on board of directors of a number of things there. So Ross with the Dolphins has said, no, he's not coming here. Mark Davis, maybe. But you know, what is the mission? What is the mission that Harbaugh would have? Harbaugh was drafted in the first round, number 8 overall by the Chicago Bears. He was our quarterback for 7 years. He played with the Chicago Bears longer than he played with the University of Michigan. You remember the big deal he made about returning to his alma mater. He is a coaching disciple of Mike Ditka. Mike Ditka is his NFL coaching mentor. So, I mean, I believe that Harbaugh, if he does come back to the NFL, it would probably be to check the box of turn around the Chicago Bears. He could check the turned around the Michigan Wolverines, and now turn around the Chicago Bears, the team that drafted him, the team that he played for, the team that he's, you know, all it's going to take is his Ditka to call him. I mean, he and Ditka are very close. You know, come on, Jimmy, come on, get over there. And I wouldn't mind that as a Bear fan. But Saban, you see, Saban has checked all the boxes, getting back to why he might come back to the NFL. I think it's just too easy to dismiss him as somebody who can't hack it in the NFL. Saban, you know, he's a daddy's boy, and his dad was an NFL coach. Lou Saban had a long career in the NFL, and I think that Saban wants to. I think that he wants to be a success in the NFL. I think that these are the kinds of things that these dudes think about. Like, what are the boxes that I can check? I think that Harbaugh is looking to check turn my NFL team around, which was the Bears, who again drafted him in the first round, and he played for 7 years, and he got all of his coaching fire and his quirkiness from Mike Ditka and all that kind of stuff. And now you got Saban. I think that he wants to return to the NFL. I think that I don't think he should. I think he's got a really nice thing going on down there in Alabama. I think that he could die there. I think that he could be Paul Bryant there. I mean, he already is. He already is basically Bear Bryant. If he leaves, they won't be building statues and naming, you know, stadiums after him, I don't think. You know, didn't Bryant basically die on the sideline? I mean, Bryant didn't go and jump to the NFL, so that's a thing. But you know, I think that Saban still has some things to prove because of people exactly like Adam. What you're saying, he's a bitch who can't make it in the NFL. Well, go ahead, say it to his face. I think those are the kinds of comments that drive him, and that's exactly why I think that Vegas, man, I'm telling you, and it would be Vegas. Harbaugh is not a Vegas guy. Jim Harbaugh is not going to be lured back to the NFL because of Las Vegas. He's not a partier. He's a type A personality. He's incredibly intense. I think that he would just be bothered by all of the distractions that occur, you know, among players. Look at the guy. You got 2 players on the Raiders this year who've gotten charged with DUI. One murdered a woman driving, Henry Ruggs. I mean, that team, that's a hard team. That's going to be moving forward, a hard team to control people in, because, you know, people go nuts in Vegas, and a young man with a lot of money in Vegas I don't think that's Jim Harbaugh's thing. He doesn't need that. Also, Jim Harbaugh. This is something that I thought was really sweet. Jim Harbaugh calls Virginia McCaskey, the 99-year-old owner of the Chicago Bears. Jim Harbaugh calls her every year on her birthday. Come on, man. That means something. That's something. When he was introduced as head coach of of the Michigan Wolverines all those years ago. There's a picture of him holding a Mike Ditka jersey. Somebody presented him with a jersey that said Ditka on it because Ditka's his coaching mate. I think Harbaugh's going to go to the Bears if he goes anywhere, and he may not go anywhere. He might just be trying to get a pay raise because he took a big pay cut. Money is also not a thing that I think Jim Harbaugh is motivated by. You know, where he lives right now in Ann Arbor, Michigan, his dad, Jack Harbaugh, who is also a longtime coach, college coach, high school coach, had a cup of coffee in the NFL as an assistant coach. His kids are in school in Ann Arbor, Michigan. His dad, Jack Harbaugh, lives right down the street. He has an incredible life there living in Ann Arbor, Michigan, where he went to college. I don't think he wants to move. And if he coached the Chicago Bears, his family wouldn't have to move. It's a half-hour puddle jump flight from Chicago to Ann Arbor, Michigan. He could do what most coaches do, which is, stay in an apartment during the week because Harbaugh is one of these 20-hour-a-day guys, so he's not going to see much of his family anyway. And then, when time permits, you just get on a little private jet and you fly over. Hell, on a private jet, it's probably 15 minutes door to door. All I'm saying is that I think that if he does jump from the college ranks, Harbaugh will probably go back to the team that drafted him, the team that he played quarterback for, the team that his coaching mentor is from. I think he's got these missions. Saban, however, could go to the Raiders. And I think that would be something that Mark Davis would be I don't think the Raiders, however, should be getting rid of their DiBiase. It's not DiBiase. Why do I say that? No, Bichetti. Whoever the interim coach is there with the Raiders. Man, you can't fire that. You can't make that guy. You just can't. After what he's been through, after what that team has been through, Raiders need to stand pat. And in fairness, the Raiders have not announced that they are looking for a head coach. We should hear something in the next few days about whether or not they're going to make the interim status go away, or if they're going to. But God, could you imagine the coaching job that this guy has done? Gruden totally shits the bed and he's got to go. So now you got a coaching change early in the season. Then you got your star wide receiver who kills somebody. He's in jail. He's gone. It's just, I don't know. Let's see here. What else do we have? Bill says, I've been temporarily living in the Atlanta area, and the two teams they go hard for is the Georgia Bulldogs and the Atlanta Braves. My talk about my cereal restaurant has April craving Frosted Flakes with bananas. My son, I haven't had Frosted Flakes in probably 20, 30 years. My son bought a box when we went shopping. He's like, I like these. He bought a box of Frosted Flakes. And like I said, I haven't had them in 30 years. Frosted Flakes are delicious, man. I totally forgot how good they are. Because, I've been eating cornflakes since I've been a grown-up. Frosted Flakes seems like, something for kids. So I've been eating just regular old cornflakes with milk and maybe a spoonful of sugar over the top, maybe some fruit, some bananas. And it's fine. It's delicious. But Frosted Flakes, he goes, Dad, I like to eat it right out of the box. And then I'm like, don't you eat it out of the box. You got to eat it like a normal person. How dare you? Cut to me at like 2:00 in the morning. I wake up, I'm sticking my hand in the box. Kid was right. This is delicious right out of the box. Frosted Flakes, man. Don't be sleeping on Frosted Flakes. They are good. Let's see here. Yeah, all right, guys. I think we're going to call it. Okay, we're going to call it. That's good. I love y'all. We'll be back at 9:00 for some pillow talk. James Parker and me, and possibly E. He's been really busy. He's getting back into his art doing and his art stuff. So we're very excited for that. He's a very talented artist. All right, I'm gonna go, and hopefully some of you will join us for the crowds for pillow talk. Hey, where's Leslie been? I haven't seen Leslie in here in a while. I don't know. Where's look, I know that we're number one with Leslie's, but all right, never mind. I'll worry about that. I'll try and find that. I'll try and figure that one out on my own time. I won't assign you guys that. All right, we'll see you back tonight at 9 o'clock for Pillow Talk. If you come and join us, I'd appreciate it. If not, you got a life. I won't hold it against you. We'll see you back here tomorrow at high noon Central Standard Time for more topics, and trending things and current events and all of that. Thanks, folks. We'll